Hello. Welcome to the Pinnacle Cup II. We have got mouz NXT versus SKADE. This is going to be a really good matchup, and this is truly going to be the test for mouz NXT to prove themselves as one of the sides to watch out for. Currently undefeated with this lineup. They haven't dropped a map. They've had 2-0s against Entropic, Spirit Academy. Then before that, their debut match, which we cast Josh, was against Gamer Legion, where they went 11-0 up to start their Mirage. This side right now is insane. And to further that, Josh, we also have a massive map pool being shown at the moment. They've only played one map twice, that being Mirage, and we've seen how deadly they are on it. Right now, SKADE, for the first time in a while, I actually think could be upset here. Of course, I'm Castle Crabber 3. I'm joined by the wonderful M&J. Josh, how are you feeling about the SKADE lineup, and how are you feeling about this matchup against mouz?
I'm quite excited, to be honest. As you say, there could definitely be room for upset. I love the fact that mouz have come in and they're establishing their map pool very early. It's very common to see with the team. They come into the scene. I mean, like UMX, for example, are like a really good example of it. They kind of came into this level of Counter-Strike. And they would just play Vertigo. Yeah, they were just always trying to push to be on Vertigo. We saw like Nuke introduced a little bit. Every now and again we'd see other maps, but they were always pushing to play on like their favorite map. Whereas for a team to come in, to be happy to play on anything and still be causing upsets is pretty impressive. Now, as we take a look at this SKADE lineup, we know and love it. It's Rainwaker, Duplicate, Denny, Oxygen, and Ships, with Punisher in that coaching role once again. Now, these guys have been a solid lock roster for quite some time, and they're a really good side. Denny on that AWP, very scary player. Ships on that secondary as well, often putting up some big numbers. Now we jump over to mouz NXT. Shuey and Shane, the two young guns, the talents from Isacco Boars. These guys have been playing together for a long time, and they are very talented. Torzi, the star player over from Budapest 5. JDC, who's really proved himself since coming into this roster, and Zerjan as well, the Israeli, coming in to bring in a bit of flair over there too. So I'm excited to see what these guys can bring. I think this is probably going to be their hardest matchup so far. SKADE are a real formidable opponent, but we'll see. I think there's definitely a chance for them.
You said it perfectly, and this veto is going to be everything. Our first map picked by SKADE will be Inferno. We then have Mirage being picked by mouz. No surprise there by mouz. No surprise there, really, by that Inferno pick either. We haven't seen mouz play Inferno yet, so that is going to be uncharted waters for them. Dust 2, though, a map that they have played, and they have won on it before. So we've got a fairly SKADE-oriented map pool purely because they've played it, they've played every map. They God knows how many times. They've proven to be insane on them, and for mouz, we've only ever seen them play 2 of these 3 maps. Granted, they've won every map they've played so far, but for how long can that be a statistic, Of course, they've won every map they've played until they lose a map, and well, is this really where that happens? I'm really looking forward to seeing this game, and honestly, I can't wait to get it underway, because I imagine that both sides are actually hungry to get into the server and really battle it out with one another, because both of them have something to prove here.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest, maybe I was a little naive. When I heard that they beat Entropic 2-0, my brain just defaulted into thinking that was Entropic Prague. Yeah, the actual
No, it was the real one. It was the Russian one.
It's the real Entropic. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, it was
That's really incredible.
Well. These were one-sided games as well. It was like 16-6 or 16-9. Like, 16, really just played out their minds. It was nuts. Yeah, wow. And I'm really actually liking this mouz side. Now, for me, the unsung hero in this side, of course, we know Torzi's insane. Yeah, we've been saying for ages. We've been preaching, him from the high heavens that this guy is nuts. But Zerjan is the man to watch out for. We see that time and time again in his dunking plays, even though it only warrants 1 or 2 kills, that alone can change the outcome of a round. And I love seeing him play. Getting underway, though, as we move on to Inferno, let's see who takes it. The odds to our partners Pinnacle, about even, actually. About 2-2. Going to be really interesting to see who opens it up, though. For JDC, it's aggression down mid. He tries to peek into second, having not seen anyone yet. He's got teammates and apps to try and assist him, and as he's seen by the first member, instead, Rainwaker will now shift into apps, accompanied by his teammate now, and that means that Torzi, the first man called into action, he falls. Do they expect the second man, though? No, they don't. Shane for 1. Shane not seeing Denisaur, though, who commits to this flank onto way. As the remaining members of SKADE try to get at Banana. What good can be done for Zerjan now? The dual Barrett's unable to see him, Josh, as he gets ready for the encroaching members. Can he stop the aggression? Can he stop the advancement of this Bulgarian side? And I tell you what, may not even be required with the flank coming of Denisaur. SKADE may just turn their attention back to A for this commitment. As we prepare for the engagement, we prepare for the follow-up. Let's see who can win this for a very, very slow start. Once again, JDC trying to swing out where he can, but the real man of action here will be this flanking member of Denisaur. JDC seen, he falls, with him being quelled. Now Shui and Zershin actually going to be called into action. The dual Barrettes are going to have to go wild, as will Shui with this USB. Good for the first, tries to tap down the second, unable to do so though, just takes the aggression. Oxygen finished the job, but Zershin into the platter. Swings out, Oxygen to get the kill. Shane in the 1v3, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do from here.
Well, if he can pull this off, it would be huge, but it's a tall order. No kit behind him as well. He's opted for that Kevlar instead. Seems to have an idea that want to be behind first oranges, but off the contact.
Now what he can. Oxygen finishes the job, and just like that, SKADE, they get the pistol round. 1-0, the scoreline now. And for mouz, as they move to their force buy, as they move to their investment, let's see if they're going to prevent SKADE from getting a very fast lead, something that they've been known to be able to do.
Well, I'm interested to see how SKADE are kind of coming into this game on the basis of their mindset, right? Now, ordinarily, they should be coming into this one saying, we're way more experienced than these guys. We've got more wins under our belt. We're on paper, a much better team. Okay, so ordinarily, you'd think they'd be coming in really comfortable. But it's that entropic win.
Saucy. With the angle. Tries to tap him down, and instead, it's the Deagle Zershin to get the first kill. Oxygen to be quelled. And with that, there's Zershin to double down before he's finished off by ships there. That damage was just perfect. 2 kills. More importantly, 2 players who had utility there. It now forces themselves into this 4-on-3. And as we continue to see the players push out, can JDC join these members in mid? Can he join the engagement of ships as he tries to follow suit? Ships ready to peek into them. Not quite seen, though, when for JDC. Oh, that's a clean entry. Ships loses his head there, and with no response whatsoever from SKADE, they're left in the 2-on-4. Luckily for them, they got a little bit of utility to commit to a site. mouz with only that nade on Shane means that it's going to be quite hard to fight for. Even in a retake, it'd be quite difficult to go for. And just like that nade, it won't even be able to be put to use. As SKADE turn their attention to B, with 35 seconds on the clock. Can mouz prevent them from hitting this site? Torzi, scout in hand, shoulder peeking from Coffins, trying to catch out Denisaur. So get ready for the peek. Missed shot early on, though, but revealing themselves means that with 20 seconds left, Shui really should be able to deliver here. Boosted atop Flowers. That will be cleared, and he only needs to get 1 kill here. With 1 kill, it makes their lives very difficult. But Denisaur pre-firing gets the first. Into a 2-on-3 now. As that bomb goes down, can SKADE hold this site with the rotation of the Galil? Shane from the flank for the first. He knows that Denisaur will be sitting back sight, and as the nades continue to land, Denisaur will slowly be swarmed. All it takes is a badly timed swing for him to meet his maker. In this case, it's a very clean kill to get Shane to open it up. Now, with that bomb not being tapped either, he's going to swing out good for a second. On for the third! And as JDC falls, Denisaur opens up SKADE's T side with a 1v3.
Well, it was a pretty good second round from mouz NXT, but they just couldn't take down Denny. He's an absolute monster with whatever weapon you put in his hand. And you know, Kramer, I've realised, okay, the stream, they could hear me, but you couldn't. So that's where that little issue was coming from. But I was just talking at the start of that first round about, or in fact the start of the second round, about how SKADE are going to be feeling going into this game. Because ordinarily, they'd look at this one, they'd say, we're way better than these guys. On paper, we're more experienced, we've got a better map pool, we're like even better as players individually. But it's going to be that entropic win that's really going to be scaring them a little bit right now. I like the confidence that they've gone in with, though.
Yeah, a couple of kills means that they have some feel-good frags. Denisaur, he's woken up. He's having a blinder so far. 7-0 he goes in just 3 rounds. And as we move to the 4th, the Trusty banner appears on your screen. And you know what, Josh? I'm starting to really like Trusty.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Obviously making this all possible.
Yeah, I've used it a few times, actually, since we've started doing the Pinnacle Cup. And it is actually, like, I'm so easy, I'm surprised it's not been done yet. It's, of course, Trusty, it's a way to make payments flow quickly from account to account with no cards, app download, or registration. The best way to kind of test it would be to go to pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in-play offerings for SKADE versus mouz NXT. Remember, though, that sports should always be fun. Only play with what you can afford. Keep safe. The full terms and conditions do apply, but go give Trusty the love they deserve because, as I mentioned, Josh, they've made this whole thing possible.
Well, Shuey, oh, the timing was perfect, but the flashbang was better. Zerjan now tucked in the smoke, ready to take the duel. It's Denny and Duplicate instead to tear the heads off the defenders. And SKADE, whilst they've taken so much damage, and so many of these duels have been through smokes and looked pretty shaky, it looks like they might actually have a flawless round here. Torzy, he won't be missing that anytime soon, though. Routine shot with the AWP, but it's only to play for his life. He's looking to keep hold of this one. And SKADE are looking to hunt him down. They don't have a huge amount of money behind them, but there's some there to justify it.
You're right, and you take a look at these SKADE members, the fact they have 3 players alive is really surprising. 4 players alive, sorry, is really surprising. 3 of them have been tagged, 2 of them have been tagged down very low, and considering how, if they hadn't hunted Torzy, they'd have survived with 5 players left alive. And that is a massive swell to confidence, I would say. Bear in mind that for mouz, because they don't really know their veto, they don't really know their opponent's veto very well, it means that SKADE gets to go into every single match, at least against mouz, being able to tailor to their own map picks. And of course, we've seen how strong their Inferno is. This is a over 75% win rate, and I think they've played it a good 30 times. Like, SKADE is disgustingly good when it comes to Inferno. When mouz, they're going to need a Herculean comeback if they want to really be able to deliver here.
Well, we seem to just be breezing through these rounds, don't we? It's like round number 5 already. SKADE, they're really upping the tempo in so many of these. For mouz NXT, it's a funky buy around Torzy's AWP. The Eagles come out. Ordinarily, you'd be saying some of these players have overinvested a little bit, but they've got this max loss bonus. They can afford to do so. Zerjan up close around this smoke, looking to do some damage with the Desert Eagle. His teammate boosted as well. Shuey good for 1 before he falls away. Torzy through the smoke with the no-scope, and this might all go horribly wrong for SKADE.
We look at the SKADE members as well. Look how they're spread out around the map. There needs to be the rotation of Rainwaker to at least join Denny Slaw with this retake. Bear in mind, Denny Slaw, he's still not died yet. So he might meet his making this round. This might be where that turns. But SKADE, without the bomb, have to go for the recommitment of utility. They're now out of smokes. They've got a single flash to get them at least into position here. And as JDC spams the smoke a bit, he draws their attention to CT. As Torzy is good for Denny Slaw. Rainwaker in the 1v4. The JDC swings out. It's a quick kill for him, but only before Zerjan, able to commit to the trade, provides mouz with their first round. And at 4-1, let's see what can be done in response.
Well, we see those Pinnacle odds popping up, and they are shifting. They shifted ever so slightly there as well, as mouz put their first round on the board. If you do want to check out the live odds for Pinnacle, of course, pinnacle.com/odds. It's a real simple URL. You can go check it out. It shows you all the live in-play odds for this game and any other game going on in the Pinnacle Cup right now. Round number 6, though. Full buy from both sides. Reset potentially either way. And whoever wins this one, it could be allowed a freebie in the next. This is quite an important round, just from a momentum basis.
Torzy, even though he's missing, he is lightning fast at the moment. And for Ships, the fact he's been able to cross twice and survive is a feat that a lot of players aren't able to brag. With Denny Slaw peeking into mid, he's going to try and trade onto one of these members, almost enticing one of the mouz players to at least shoulder peek and will give him something to work with. But JDC ain't shifting. On the jump point, sees him coming. The teammates there. Shane, the setup is just perfect. 2 quick kills, forces it into a 5-on-3. Denny Slaw in mid, forced back by the smoke, means as Rainwaker joins him in apps, he now has to deliver, as someone on SKADE has to at least output something for this round.
I mean, Ships, in those early engagements, he just takes a whole load of damage at not very much gain, to be honest. He gets some early information, but mouz NXT have a perfect read on what's going on. They went for that hard stack over towards A. There was no way SKADE were going to get out of brackets. Now, as the resets come in, mouz rotate another man over. It's Torzy with the AWP to defend top banana. He's good for 1. The C4 starts to retreat, though. And in this 5-on-2, I mean, what the hell does SKADE do? It has to be a save call.
So we're left in the 5-on-2. As you mentioned, the save, it comes through. It's understandable, really, that Rainwaker and Ships both back off. We look at their money. I mean, Oxygen can probably drop next round if you include the bonus, as can Dennyslaw. So, SKADE, they're not going to press against it yet. They are able to commit to an investment. It means they have something to wield moving into the next round. And for the rest of this side, let's see if SKADE are able to commit and able to deliver on what will be the 7th here. But they call a timeout. And I actually really like calling a timeout this early, Josh.
Yeah, I quite like this as well. SKADE recognizing that they've somewhat lost a little bit of control and they need to take a step back. They need to rethink this. Look at that. Laser focused.
I know, the focus in the eyes of Oxygen there. That was insane. That is a man on a mission. As I believe, looking at the remainder of these players, they looks like it may be getting to the head a little bit that they've had a bit of a shaky start here. I'm interested to see if SKADE can recover, actually, because a 3-round lead at the start, while for the kind of former stages, it's great. You need to remember that you're not really against buy rounds, and it can really spiral out of control when mouz gain momentum with the AWPs in their hands. And for SKADE, they are in real danger of falling into that trap. It's something that a lot of teams have fallen to, actually fairly regularly in this meta.
Well, as the flash comes in, it's SKADE to up the pace again, flying up mid. Torzi does tend to duplicate out, though. Torzi's had such a huge impact in these early rounds, with JDC there on the cross, just making sure that there is no entry point here onto this A-bomb site. All of the rotations have already come in. You see the B players stacked up around Library and Archway. And Torzi, now in trouble, being pressured down, needs support from JDC. He'll receive it, but not before falling to Ships. Back into a 2-on-2. Ships is almost certainly going to swap out to this sniper. And we'll see the Battle of the Titans to try and hold on to this site as mouz goes for the retake.
Shui's trade there couldn't have come at a better time. It means that as the utility continues to land around them, SKADE are still able to hold this position. These flashes go off. Xerxian, he gets ready to follow up on short, joined by Shui. And considering how they both have kits, this should be a fairly close round, actually, despite the fact that they are in the retake. With Ships hiding in pit, Dennyslaw reveals himself backside, but with 2 AWPs there, it's a bit of a hybrid wieldment from SKADE. And, well, that armament may have actually played to their disadvantage, as mouz now make it 3, having retake that site beautifully. And they don't commit to the double AWP setup, which means that Torzi, he's going to be the sole wielder of that big green, at least for this first couple of rounds. I'll take a timeout as well. Josh, I love these. I absolutely love these timeouts. I cannot understate how important it is to have these timeouts, especially when you've only had 1 round, 2 rounds. Say this close round straight to a timeout. It means that you can really focus on preventing your opponents from getting momentum. And I believe it's, if I'm fairly certain we saw yesterday, it's Shane, the IGL, isn't it, for the mouz NXT side, and I actually really love this style. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's utilizing the 4 that you're given, isn't it? I mean, so many teams get to the end of a game, they're having issues, and I mean, it's not even the fact that they get to the end of a game and they're having issues. It's you get to the end of the game, you've lost the game, and then you look back and you think there were so many turning points. There were so many points in this match where we definitely could have turned this around if we'd have taken a bit of a break of pace. I like the fact that they're utilizing that because you get 4 of them, and many teams don't use all 4.
Yeah.
In a close, contentious matchup like this, it makes sense. Only Deagle's out here for SKADE, other than Ships, who's got that AK-47. And Ships with only $700 is going to be a bit strapped for cash in the next round. So he either needs to find a few kills here, or he needs to hold on to this rifle. Otherwise, he's not going to have the opportunity to buy with the rest of his team in the next.
So here's a cool thing about Pinnacle Cup, Josh. We don't know the playoff invites yet. So there's the potential that we'll see mouz NXT versus the real mousesports, or the main mousesports. I pray that happens. That's a very clean opening. I don't know how that works,
but that would be cool. That is a clean opening. That is crisp.
That'd be really good. He just annihilates the opposition there. Ship swings out. Shui for him. Duplicate to trade. Forces us into a 3-on-4. Then Xerxian gets ready to go through this smoke. Duplicate He sits on site. Does timing favour Xerxian here? Well, as he goes through, there's the first, there's the planter, and as he swings out, Duplicate does trade, but it's a 2-on-2 now. He's bought time, and time is all that's required in this circumstance. Duplicate tapping that bomb once is just trying to find an aggressor, but having seen nothing yet. Shane in mid as well. If he gets the timing onto the rotating member of Rainwaker, then he's in a perfect spot again, but Rainwaker surviving, at least for now, sits in the other side of this angle. That nade lands on Tree. Doesn't quite kill him yet, though, but Shane looks like he'll swing on him, but he doesn't get the kill. Rainwaker, that kill is pivotal now. JDC, a 1v1 with Duplicate to secure the site, and as he continues to just peek into whatever corner he can, trying to figure out where his opposition could be here. He taps that bomb, that flash goes off. He actually sticks the defuse. Does he get it in time? No, he doesn't. Duplicate finishes the job, and for SKADE, that'll be 5 off the back of just Eagles there. And honestly, I think that was all off the back of a laser entry from Dennis Law.
Yeah, that's not a round you're expecting them to win, and it swings the momentum back in their favour. Gives Ships some much-needed money. And puts another on the board. This is where it all sort of looked a little bit shaky. You wondered if it was going to go wrong. Yeah. It was nicely recovered there. Denny putting up a monster performance so far, and now he's got that big green sniper in his hands as well to do damage with.
So goes down to mid. Shane follows up, and that's a very clean kill, but Oxygen for 2 more. Really nice clutch play from him as he doubles down onto the long defense. He now wraps to this position on A, and with no trade yet, his flashes go off. Ships he tries to hold for Archway. Little does he know, aggression is going to be coming from Library, and as he sits into this corner, as he tucks in, he awaits to see if mouz even attempt this retake. And looking at the economy for mouz, I really wouldn't be surprised if they just get the hell out of Dodge. They wheel 3 weapons in the next round. Xerxian and Shui could probably drop FAMASs, meaning that they at least wield something, and actually could probably win next round, considering SKADE still haven't got that economic padding to be able to attempt anything, at least too ballsy yet.
I mean, I like the save call from mouz. I don't like Inferno. I don't like the fact that we see saves all the time on it. But, I mean, it is what it is.
You're an Inferno hater, you are, Josh.
I am an Inferno hater because there's no other map in the pool where you just see constant saves. I mean, so far this game, we have actually seen mouz be pretty ambitious with their retakes. Like they've kind of been trying to get back into the sites. They have been going for the retakes. They've actually had a decent amount of success on them as well. But yeah, on Inferno, sometimes we get games where it's literally the T side. They'll find the opening kill. They'll take a bomb site, and then that's it. We sit around for 45 seconds, waiting for the bomb to explode, and it's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's where you see the best Counter-Strike.
You're absolutely right. And for mouz, I actually think Inferno isn't really their playstyle. I think for mouz, they really like aggression. I think it favours them beautifully, having kind of hybrid lurks by Xerxian, having Torzi just have the freedom to peek wherever he wants. That's why I think they're so good on Mirage. And with Inferno not really being that map, Xerxian, he's kind of funneled into Banana where he has to take straight angels, gets Denny's Thor. It's a tough ask, isn't it? He falls eventually, and while mouz are left in what's now a 2-man disadvantage with Torzi falling, it's all down to Shui to hold this site pretty much single-handedly. And as the util lands around him, he's just going to cower in this corner and pray that he can one at a time. He obliges him, but he only needs himself as he shuts him down. It falls into the 5-on-2, and I think we should see another save here from mouz. And I know you criticise Inferno, and I've just kind of agreed with you for the very reason it doesn't favour mouz. As a map, it speaks ample for your tactics, and I can't think of a more tactically oriented map in the pool, really, bar maybe Nuke.
I suppose. I mean, I definitely see both sides of it. I definitely see both sides of it. I mean, when you look at mouz and how this favors their playstyle, or in fact doesn't favor their playstyle, you've just got to look at all of these young players, and literally the best word to describe them is just fast. Yeah, they're fast players. Very, very quick reactions. Gauzy hitting some ridiculous flicks that you just think, how does anybody even react that fast? And when it comes to, as you say, this kind of aggressive play style that we like to see from them, it's really tailored to that. It really favors them. Whereas, as you say, here on Inferno, a lot of the time they're not really given the opportunity to do so. And then when they do want to get back into a site and take those jewels and things like that, a lot of the time it's just not viable. So in the last couple of rounds, we've just seen these hard save calls. Despite the save, they're not actually buying around it. They want to hold on to a bit of cash. So in this one, we're only actually seeing an M4 and a FAMAS in play. That's one of the Deagles gone early as well. Ship's fast shot. Shane down to 6 HP too from that utility.
A really, really nice opening there. And SKADE turn their attention back away. Let's see what can be done as JDC. He shuts down Duplicate. It's a perfect opening. And well, it's left for Shane in a low HP circumstance. He hides on balcony. Now, this balcony position is a very good one-and-done position. I doubt it'll be cleared instantly. It means he could probably sneak a kill. But once he drops down, he should be pretty quickly dispatched, purely because he is so low on HP. And while there's only one piece of aggressive util left on SKADE, they are draining quite a bit. And as Shane kind of hides on the head glitch, I actually love this because he's so low. He gets headshot, doesn't really matter. JDC chimes in for one. There's the trade by both members, but JDC continues to hide on site. He's spammed down by Rainwaker. On long, Denny still proves to have a very quick reaction to shut down Torzy, giving SKADE their 8th now. And for mouz, it sends them to the reinvestment. If mouz lose this, Josh, I'd argue they're in a really tough spot.
I suppose, yeah. It's not going their way, is it? We saw the early rounds kind of going a little bit back and forth. We saw that string of 3. Definitely filled me with confidence a little bit. Even when it came to the second round, where it was a 3 versus 1, it came super close, and they ended up losing to a crazy clutch from Denny. Sort of makes you think, yeah, they've got some equity in this one. Since that point, it's kind of been the SKADE show. Uncharacteristic miss there from Torzy means no trade comes in. Still the man advantage for SKADE. And I don't see mouz re-peaking top mid anytime soon. Here comes the jewel and top banana. It's a bit of a whiff from Duplicate, but Zerjan's still in trouble.
With a bit of spam damage done into apps as well. Reveals that SKADE are more holding a default than committing to this attack. And while Shui's good for ships, I love how it's because his teammate is just hiding in the smoke. It means that they both stay alive. It means they both wield something in this round. And, well, for Oxygen, another very clean engagement now. When as they continue to do damage, I'm starting to really worry for this side as for this 3-on-2. Let's see what can be done by these 3-on-3. We'll see what can be done for these members. Shui sees them coming. Oxygen, he falls now, but he reveals that the rest of his team should be following up pretty quickly. He falls low to the nades, and it's a molly that finishes the job. There's a rotation of Torzy now trying to hold this angle, but the smokes are ready to be deployed by Rainwaker. He rotates back to Coffins as Shane commits to his flank, but he's taking a bit of time with it. He brings out a shot, but he whiffs it massively thinking down Rainwaker. He's forced back to the rotation, meaning for Torzy, he needs to race to library as quick as humanly possible, but he's been outmaneuvered. SKADE, they've absolutely faked the kill cam there, and now, unfortunately for Torzy, he's just on the wrong bomb site. 20 seconds left, and SKADE are going to be able to get this plant, and that's just going to be soul-crushing for Torzy to realise that he had the angle, he had the absolute opportunity to win this round, and instead, that's just become a hell of a lot harder as he cowers in CT and kind of tentatively starts his retake.
I feel Shane there. You need a bit of trigger discipline. Maybe it's the nerves of the situation. Got to him, got itchy fingers, pulled the trigger a little too early. Now Torzy coming in from this graveyard position, but he doesn't peek wide enough. This is definitely a save. He's not going for this at all. He has no kit. That's kind of the major issue here. I wouldn't have minded seeing him kind of poke out, deploy a molly into a new box or something like that, but instead he just says, I'm going to stay alive here. Knows that he doesn't take too much damage if he tucks himself away there in CT. They'll let SKADE have their 9th. And for me, I feel like this is too many already.
You think that if it goes to 9-6, it's too far gone?
Not necessarily. I don't think, like, if they can recover it and it's 9-6, then that's not a big problem. But I think the fact that it's 9-3, and more than likely, SKADE will take at least another round here. I don't see them losing the next 3 on the trot, especially with the economy behind them. Yeah, I think mouz have just let this one slip a little too much, a little too early.
I think it's recoverable. Only just. I think they're still not quite in a circumstance where they can go, yeah, it's all right, doesn't matter if we lose this. But I think if they can at least make it 4 or 5, their T size, bear in mind that when when sides are on their... When new teams are formed, their T side will always be better before their CT side catches up. So I think for mouz, again, 4 or 5 rounds isn't actually too bad. Granted, I'm being really optimistic, and this is assuming that, you know, everyone shows up. If they don't, this could be a very fast map. But bear in mind, it is still SKADE's map here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how things go over on Mirage. Oxygen, my goodness. Is he just going straight through the wall? That's the AWPer as well. Oh, no. That's not the way you want to start. If you're Torzy right now, you come into the round, you see him on the cams, he's sort of looking comfortable. He's saying, right, I've got to open this round, I'm going to do some damage. That is not the way to start it off, but a nice recovery brings us back into a 3-on-3.
Rainwaker, that kill onto JDC while clean. He does fall to 15 HP in the process. Xerxian, I think he wanted to try and fight mid there, and instead timing has just cursed him massively, but he turns at the nick of time. Duplicate. He'll fall, meaning that AK is going to be retrieved. And for Shane, with the AWP picked up, he's going to try a maneuver back into mid, but little does he know, both players are still in abs. Right now, SKADE have got a perfect flank onto this side, but Shane, realizing the error of his ways, turns back just as a bit of damage is done by either member. Rainwaker, who's already ready to drop down into pits, is going to make noise as he does so. Xerxian will know it's coming, but Xerxian expects the players already be out. I think he does, which means that for Rainwaker, this engagement is everything. Bear in mind, Shane only has an AWP. It can be very hard to turn a good 50 degrees to switch between targets. And in this case, Xerxian, as he peeks out, he's killed off by Rainwaker. There's the drop. There's the flash to get them onto this site. And while Shane holds the cross, this kill, once again, will decide the round. There's another flash there. The player drops, missed shot, punished by Oxygen, all onto Shuey. Deagle in hand without armor in the 1 versus 2. And as he peeks out from Library, he's able to retrieve an M4, making his life a slightly bit easier, but sort of shifts on the angle. It's a whiffed shot, punished by Oxygen, giving SKADE their double digits, giving SKADE their 10th, and giving mouz an opportunity to move to their full buy.
I mean, it's a hard shot there for Shane, but it's just one that you can't afford to miss, and as soon as he does, it's kind of just round over. 6 in a row hit for SKADE now. There was that little stint of 3 in the middle that they faltered. But since that point, they seem to have found their groove, their rhythm. Yep. And mouz haven't been able to break it. Back onto a buy. Use the word full buy, and I mean, it is to some degree, but they're certainly lacking in areas. JDC only down to a FAMAS. There's limited utility here and there. There's only 2 kits in play. Helmets not available on a couple of them. Not that they necessarily need them against the AKs, but it's a luxury that if you can afford, you always tend to go for. Ooh. Actually a connected shot there from Ships as well, but it's just not the kill. Just through the corner of that wall means that it doesn't do full damage.
He does have to take a nade like a trooper for doing that leg damage, but I tell you what, I bet that scared the hell out of the mouz defense, knowing that even if they show just a slight grimace of themselves, they're going to be instantly leg down, they're going to be instantly punished for it if they don't use their utility properly. For Denny Slaw, as he now peeks into top mid, he gets ready to follow up. He gets ready to follow suit. As he does so, let's see what SKADE can now do as they go quiet. And with 45 seconds left, they prepare their execution. mouz, with both Torzy and Xerxian there to defend. There's that molly already in his hand. He's got smoke as well. And considering Torzy's ready with this AWP, there's actually a lot favouring mouz's defense here. And for Torzy, that opening just makes their lives that bit sweeter. Torzy going through the CT smoke as well. The flashes go down. It's a missed. No scope though. But Xerxian saves his teammate Torzy on just 1 HP there. Means that for SKADE, at 20 seconds left, they have to commit to this engagement. The first member holding the jump off. It's Xerxian onto Ships. Rainwaker to trade through the smoke. Shuey and Rainwaker exchanging blows. Rainwaker out of ammo. His only limitation in this round. And with 5 seconds left, Torzy, with just a USP, is going to make sure that Rainwaker can't even plant. mouz, they make it 4. But Rainwaker, can he make it expensive? So far, mouz don't even want to risk peeking him. He keeps the hold of that AK. And with all the money in the world, SKADE are ready to battle it out for 11.
I'm in 2 minds about how Rainwaker played that. I think it was smart not to commit to the plant, knowing that he was just going to be charged down. He sort of says, right, I'm going to try and stay alive here. But at the same time, considering they're going into the last round of the half, and they still have tons of money left over, Rainwaker's still got 5k in the bank, Oxygen in the same boat. I really feel like he could have afforded to just kind of gamble it a little bit. If he'd have died, he'd have died. It wouldn't have really made a huge amount of difference. We saw that stat coming up though. Zerjan 3-1 in duels against Rainmaker, which is quite interesting. Zerjan's having a really good game.
Yeah, he is. And for Duplicate, that's a very clean opening as well. Torsi, he does trade, and he shows his consistency. But JDC, that's some insane confidence there. Ship's legs are down, just ignores the fact he's been shot. Meaning Torsi can swing on Denisaur. Getting that kill means JDC's the next to draw blood. And for Zerjan, as he pressures down Ships, that'll deliver Mouz their 5th. Now, if they get the pistol rounds, I actually rate them quite a bit here, Josh.
I suppose they've done what's required. Since they were 10-3 down, they've kind of pulled on to that lifeline. They're now still holding on. It's a thin thread, but like they're still in this game. I think they definitely need like these early rounds, though. If they lose the pistol, then they are in a really, really tough spot. They don't necessarily have to win the pistol, but it will do them a lot of favors. It will make this comeback a hell of a lot more doable. Yeah, SKADE don't normally falter in these kind of situations. It's their map pick. They're 10-5 up. They do like their CT side as well. Oxygen just jump spotting. Look how much information he's gained. He doesn't even need to take the gunfights. He's just going to fall right away from this and call to his teammates that they're all in second mid.
With Ships slowly peeking into them. He sees them coming. He can't quite follow up yet, though. Instead, Zertian on T-ramp allows SKADE to work with the kind of lack thereof information as they push in. Let's see. Will SKADE be able to stop this attack? With Shane ready to spearhead the charge from Apps. The motor smoke goes down. Here are the flashes. Ships knowing they're coming. Has to hide on site. He's seen in the process as he runs off. Oxygen has to deliver, but the nade stack is perfect. Ships to fall. And that's over at the hands of Torsi, but not before JDC is taken with him. But it falls into a 4-on-3. And for Mouz, a very well-executed pistol round there. And it shows that they anti-strat SKADE really hard there.
Yeah, it's like psychological warfare as well.
Yeah.
When Oxygen spotted that they were all in second mid, they didn't move a muscle. They still kept 3 players on the B site, thinking that Mouz would go back to B, and that just wasn't the case. They're going to be kicking themselves right now because they had the info from the start, but they were really expecting Mouz to backtrack off of being spotted. And SKADE, they realized there's no chance in this round whatsoever. Even though it's a pistol and there's not a huge amount to save, they're going to do so anyway. They're going to bring that kit and Kevlar into the next. And for Mouz NXT, it's pretty much as clean as rounds come.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. We're going to see a 6th on the board for Mouz. And I tell you what, you need to remember, we saw SKADE play Inferno yesterday against Furia. You know what the score was in that, Josh?
Go on.
Against Furia. It was a 16-4 victory to SKADE. Now, they lost the series.
Furia have been a bit shaky recently. I've
no,
seen a few
Furia won the
results
series.
where Furia have been struggling.
Yeah, they won the series. They just got wiped on Inferno by this side of SKADE. And honestly, it makes me think that actually, for SKADE, this is going to be this should be a stomp, right? Surely, because, you know, Furia should really be rated above Mouz here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, right. So I say Furia have been looking shaky. That was purely based off of the 1-win result the other day that we saw.
No, they beat Endpoint yesterday as well. They've beat SKADE.
But yeah, Fury have kind of recovered that one nicely. Yeah. All of their other matches have actually been pretty good. So I retract my statement about them being shaky. I think that was maybe just a one-off against 1 win. But yeah, dropping a map like that to SKADE as well shows that SKADE like this map.
Yeah. And for now, it's going to be a turn from Mouz back to this A side. Now, they're already a man up. So Oxygen, he is going to be their sole defender with this engagement. As that smoke goes down, Max 7 in hand. What could Oxygen really do here? Hide him behind the pillar. He hopes for timing. Zertia leads the charge. He's the first to fall. He tries to double down. Shui on the head glitch tries to lead the follow-up of Oxygen. That was a very clean kill to JDC there. Shui, while he does finish it off, it goes into the 2-on-2 now. Shane, the flank comes, and while it's so messy by Duplicate, he still gets the kill. Shui making noises. He reloads back. Sight gets swarmed. Right away, it's the first to fall. He knows Duplicate's going to be swinging into him. Can he see him in the process? No, he can't. Duplicate. It was 1 bullet, really either way there, but Duplicate's shot rings out first. For Mouz, that'll be another Fulterment, and for SKADE, that'll be 11 as they now go 11-6 up against mouz, winning their force buy and forcing mouz, at least with the merits of a bomb plant, onto a force of their own.
Duplicate delaying that defuse as well to go and find himself a better weapon and just letting mouz sit and stew in that one. Not a round that they should be losing. But we see it again. Just a huge recovery. Despite the huge disadvantage. That's actually what we saw in the second round as well after the pistol. Over in that first half, mouz had a 3v1 situation. They threw it away. Really solid stuff there from SKADE. Now they've got this firepower advantage, only up against the Desert Eagles and that Galil. They've got all the tools behind them. The only contingency, Rainwakers for mass. Let's see what they can do with this.
Get ready for a follow-up. Let's see what can be done by this side with Denisaur trying to follow up. There's no kill yet. Instead, you see a bit of damage done early on by the util. Denisaur forced out of position. Oh, that nade. It was almost lethal. But with no kill, mouz, that was a lot of util they expended. And with no kill, it means they're actually out of aggressive. It's now just smokes and flashes to ease them to an attack, and of course Shui, he's not taking any problem, he's not got any qualms of being loud as he takes banana control. Because of that, we just see the util dropped by Duplicate, giving themselves a bit of space, and with a minute to toy with, mouz now commits to this hit onto the safe site. JDC lining up that util. Actually a really cool lineup there from him. And as it lands, Oxygen in Graveyard reveals himself. Good for one. Shane instantly on the trade, though, meaning that as Denisaur reveals himself, Rainwaker, his next say in the matter is really what decides it here. Fully blinded, though. JDC good for one before he too falls, leaving Shane in the 1 versus 3. The Eagle in hand swings out. Good for one. Very clean kill for him. He knows that Rainwaker's low on HP as well, but with only 20 seconds left, will timing favour him here? The movement, while it's good, it's not perfect. And for Rainwaker, he tries to punish it. The flash is just perfect by Duplicate there. And as Shane is completely blinded, Rainwaker delivers with that kill. For SKADE, that'll be a 12-6 lead now as mouz move to the eco and then move straight back to the drawing board as the Bulgarians look to deliver.
And the odds shifting once again. A beautiful bit of coordination there from SKADE to finish things off. And whilst the smoke lineup from Boiler was very cool, I was quite impressed with that as well.
Yeah.
I actually am not the biggest fan of the smoke itself. I understand the purpose of the smoke. It allows them to come up short and isolate that fight with a pit player instead of having to walk into the crossfire. But what it also means is it's very difficult to then kill that player on site. You can see them pushing through that smoke, trying to take that jewel, not necessarily expecting someone to just be sitting behind it or around it. And yeah, it really makes that fight very difficult because it means the CT can play around the smoke and abuse it.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage done by that AK of Duplicate there. Torzi eventually finishes it. Ship's also taken down. Hello, Torzi. He's just decided to show up, and as that smoke goes down, actually across with the AK now, sitting in CT. Well, Denisaur expects him in this angle. Or was he seen? I don't think he was, but does he clear it anyway? Yes, he does. The Torzi falls. I love that read by him. Shane's left in another 1v3. Mag 7 and Deagle in hand. Definitely not the weapons you're after, really, in this circumstance. That volley, oh, it's proven to be lethal. As Denisaur swings out, it's just a quick clean-up for them. As SKADE hit 13, and for an eco, that was pretty good by mouz, but SKADE are actually looking solid and more than happy to just close out the map here.
Yeah, this is their 13th. mouz will have money behind this one, especially after getting that bomb plant and a couple of kills too. I'm actually quite surprised that SKADE let that bomb go down when they took those casualties on B. It seemed like those rotations took a while. But either way, 13-6. Big gap here for mouz to close.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think it's slowly falling too far gone. Of course, as the trusted banner appears on your screen, trusty, the wonderful partners of Pinnacle. Of course, if you think you know your stuff, you can head over to pinnacle.com/odds, where you can find the latest in-play offerings for mouz versus SKADE, and a variety of other markets. So Pinnacle, at the moment, are running a promotion, where if you bet €10 on esports, you then gain another €10. Of course, you need to be a new customer, and if you sign up using Club 21, then I guess that's how you do it. Remember, bet can only be done in this fun and safe environments. Only bet with what you can afford, and full terms and conditions will apply. For mouz, they've applied a bit of pressure to SKADE with a very quick headshot onto Denisaur.
Shui, good flashbang, but he's getting toasty toes. He's burning in the mollies. Oh no. Oh, that's rough. That is really rough. He was actually team flashed there as well, so I don't think he was massively aware that he was burning alive. That brings things back into a 4-on-4. Shane not expecting Oxygen in that close corner. I think he would have checked it, but Oxygen swung out wide just at the perfect moment. Times that one really nicely. And SKADE back with the man advantage in the round that counts. This is the one where mouz have actually got money behind them.
That they did now when for Torzy, as he holds for the peak in CT, little does he know that the only man to defend this SKADE B bomb site is Duplicate. And while he's having a fairly solid game, he proves it with another kill onto Zertian there. Timing favours him. The flash delays the engagement. Bear in mind, with only 30 seconds left, mouz do need to get a wiggle on it. The nade, it more shows presence than it does do damage. And with Torzy almost tickled by it, we'll see if Duplicate can prevent them from this plant. Instead, he plays the discipline option. Knowing he's in a 4-on-2, it's JDC to aggress, damaging Duplicate in the process. Rainwaker legs down as well, means that for mouz, this is suddenly looking a little bit doable for them. Ships coming out from the flank as another member's ready to swing in CT. As they do so, Torzy, he really has to be the man of action now, the man of the hour. Ships, he sees JDC. Both members do a bit of damage to one another, but with nothing too lethal yet. That bomb already halfway gone. It's actually looking very far gone now. Ships for one. He cuts down to ADC. Torzy in the 1v3 though. Good for one. Holds the angle. Gets the second now. Switches to the third. Can he get the kill? No, he can't. Does Oxygen have time though? Well, it's bloody close, but I think he does. And for SKADE, that'll be 14 in a tremendous 1v1 from Oxygen there, and a marvellous attempt from Torzy.
I thought Torzy was going to have that one, I'll be honest. Even the positioning of that plant was perfect. For him sitting in dark, the bomb's very, very far gone. The retake coming in, but they've got to take a few extra steps. It wastes valuable seconds when that clock's really against you. mouz NXT, they do have money for a buy once again, but SKADE, they've still got this momentum behind them. Dennyslaw currently 4-1 in duels against Shuey, so he's dominating right now with this AWP, and that might not have been the play. I like the initiative, but yeah, the support fell back, and there was no smoke in place, so he was very exposed from lower mid.
A really, really strong start from them, actually. And as SKADE just awaits the follow-up, you have to see who is able to deliver. And as they do so, Ships is the man to put some very even footing on long. Torzy, only down to an AK, is still going to try and deliver, but as he's unable to do so yet, Rainwaker, he hides over in Cubby with the smokes being deployed. Rainwaker, is he mollied out of position? No, he's tickled by it. He swings behind the fumes. Good for another. Shane, while he does trade, mean mouz is only one man down. Knowing there's a player in pit, though, can Ships aggress into the players on site? Little does he know he's swung from behind. JDC good for the first, JDC for the second. Maybe a Duplicate in the 1 versus 2, but with low HP on both Shane and JDC, this is very doable for the young Bulgarian. And as he gets ready to peek out from long, JDC, the German, call to action. We the one have to try and stop him. There's the first. He knows the second should be near sight. And as Shane swings out, makes a bit of noise. Oh, it's close. But with just 2 HP, Shane is able to deliver, bringing mouz their 7th and giving them just the faintest glimmer of hope.
Literally a matter of 2 points of health. It doesn't get a lot closer than that, does it? As we see this replay, massive play from JDC here. Beautiful spray control there onto Oxygen too. Doesn't get much better than that. 14-7. And it's actually broken the economy of SKADE. Despite the fact they've actually been winning these last few rounds, taking so many casualties really does take a toll on your economy, especially when you're on that CT side. So they're struggling for money right now.
Torzy shutting down Rainwaker leaves us into the 5-on-4 with Shane chiming in, Oxygen taken down, and I'll tell you what, mouz actually looking like they seriously have found a bit of rhythm. Granted, it is against a force buy still, so this is about as successful as it gets, knowing full well that they are throwing it into another eco, and with Shuey just delivering, it falls all down to Dennyslaw.
Denny, there's surely no chance of this round. He has to go and save. But is he going to be able to? They're kind of already on a bit of a hunt for him. Shane up close with low HP. Could lose his life here. All comes down to timing. Oh, Denny's not looking to his left.
No.
Oh, wow. Flawless round for mouz. I mean, that's
really
pretty
strong.
solid.
Really, really strong. And you need to remember as well, this was a force buy, so it's needs to be true. I always see force buys as to be treated the same as full buys because of the economic impacts it has afterwards. And for SKADE, look at them, straight down to an eco. We now see the Mac 10s come out from mouz because, that's such a successful round. They can afford to do it. Already with an economic padding, that's about to get better if they can make this round one-sided. But here comes the mid rush. Can Zorzy stop them, though? Sees the first man cross. Can't quite deliver, though, but the Mac 10's called into action. Shui for 1. There's Zershin and Shui for 3 of his own, actually, there. Can he make it 4? No, JDC's there to assist him kindly with the killing blows. mouz with 9 now. 5 rounds separate the two sides, and considering SKADE, when they invest here, will be investing down to 0. mouz is only a hop, skip, and a jump away from catching up. Granted, they're not there yet, but there's hope. And so long as there's hope, I don't want to rule them out.
Well, another quick timeout. It seems like they were really nicely utilized at the start. We were commending them for the fact that right from the get-go, they were using those timeouts, taking that little break of pace to talk things over. And they seem to work quite nicely. Since that point, neither team seem to have even remembered. I think it's actually very easy, at least from my experience in competitive Counter-Strike. It's actually just very easy to forget that you even have timeouts and just play round by round and just get very immersed in the game and forget the fact that you can actually call timeouts and that's a thing that you can use. So yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that happens at this kind of caliber, but it's something that I've definitely experienced. Especially with sprays as well. Do you ever just forget that sprays are a real thing in Counter-Strike?
People forget you have 4 timeouts and face it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never see time. Granted, I think face it's a bit more of a kind of freestyle play, but in qualifiers as well, anyone can enter one, but rarely do we see timeouts used properly, and I think it really shows professionalism to be able to wield them. And for JDC, that read is just nuts. An advantage there for mouz now, looking to wield it against SKADE as they prepare for another engagement at Top Banana.
It's another great opening. Gives them a lot of space to work with. SKADE are going for an early rotation, though. This is pretty solid. They're going to have a 3-man defense towards this B-bomb site. Denny with that sniper. Duplicate backside. He's got 18 kills right now. He's having a really good game. He needs to defend one last time. And here comes the execute.
Well, that molly, it forces Dupe to go straight out of position, and as Zershin joins him with this engagement, there's Zershin for the first now. Can the Mac 10 deliver? Accompanied by JDC, it certainly can. Josh, they've still not lost a player on mouz. Roaston and Dinosaur, they need to get the hell out of there. Ocean eventually he draws blood as Shane is taken down. He kind of proves that mouz is mortal, but if there ever was a time for this side to be ignited in what looks to be like the stirring flames of a comeback, then now would be it. And as that bomb is going to go off, mouz hit their double digits. They look at the money on SKADE, there's none at all, and it's really where I start to seriously fear for SKADE, who have kind of proven before that they can struggle to close out maps.
Well, 14-10, and yeah, you're right, Kramer. This is really becoming doable. SKADE aren't going to have a huge amount of money behind them, so there will be a big question mark here on whether they even attempt to invest around these 2 saving members. They could. We wouldn't see any M4s realistically, unless Oxygen just bites the bullet. I reckon we see a half buy. I reckon we see some pistols come out, a little bit of Kevlar here and there and whatnot. Then the full investment in the next. Those odds, though, are pretty crazy. I actually don't necessarily agree with those as much. SKADE, still the hot favourites to be taking this one. I think mouz have got a lot more equity in this game than was shown right there.
Have you seen that statistic on screen? That JDC, currently, I think that was 4-1 in duels against ships. And that really is something, because JDC and the ships, they're kind of the playmakers of either side. And to see that sort of differential is really impressive. For this side, what can SKADE really do here as the flash is going to give them banana control, but are they expecting? Yeah, they are. Ships, he's just taken down. He only hits 1 bullet before he dies. And for Rainwaker, without armor, holding this site is going to be really, really tough, as there are many members of SKADE I'm going to get ready for the engagement. With Rainwaker following it up from CT, what can really be done by mouz here? And instead, mouz, having read a rotation, actually continue to hold the default. A really wise decision from them.
Well, once again, it's Ships trying to make that play, trying to get aggressive, and it just doesn't work out for him at all. Rotations coming in. They're going for a bit of a gamble stack towards this B site, but once again, it's just the wrong call to make. Denny holding in long. Oh, they might get away with this one if mouz decide to backtrack, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. They are really starting to funnel over towards this A site. Now, Denny, is he really rotating around to B? Yeah, they're just saving. They don't want anything to do with this. No, now he's going back into library. Was he going to rotate? I think he was planning to rotate there.
That's a shame. Wow. If they gamble stacked, they're in a lot of trouble. That is a massive problem from SKADE, actually. If they gamble stack that B site, that shows that they are shaken to the absolute core, because mouz, it was pretty obvious they'd fallen into a default there, actually, and for SKADE, granted, you need to remember, bear in mind, that they have not got much of a buy, so they do go into gamble stacking a site is a fair guess. It's just a shame that they had to be left in such a tough spot, actually, and as mouz now hit 11, what on earth can SKADE really do on the defense here? I'm actually looking really hopeful for mouz here. They've really turned this around.
I mean, the silver lining here for SKADE is that there will be an AWP. I mean, they could have afforded one anyway, but like there is an AWP in play, and it will have util and whatnot behind it. We'll see a quick technical pause as we've just seen Ships disconnect.
Oh, that was quick, Josh. I'm really proud of you for that.
Yeah, that was quick, wasn't it? I recognized it instantly. We've casted these guys like too many times now, so
I'll explain it to the chat.
The back of my hand.
It is very difficult. If you see a random player disconnect from a team, bear in mind we cast about 200 teams a month. If you see a random player from a team disconnect, so then instantly identify who it is who's gone, it's really tough to do. So I'm very impressed with you for that, Josh. Good job.
Thanks, bro. It also depends how far you are into the game as well.
That's true. Granted, we have been talking about Ships, and granted, Ships is having a rough game. Before he disconnects, he was going 8 to 19. He has really not been given any space here at all.
Yeah, it's not your kind of standard Ships for performance. I always feel that Ships plays exceedingly well against lower tier teams. He seems to be the one that when they're up against
teams, isn't he?
Yeah, when you're up against a team that are of like a slightly lower caliber, or like they're making lots of mistakes, Ships is just insane at getting aggressive and dropping a 40 bomb. But when they're up against a side that are playing like really disciplined Counter-Strike and not necessarily making those mistakes, he seems to struggle, and we've seen it in these last few rounds. He's kind of called for flashes through smokes and got aggressive and things like that, and it's just not worked for him at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course, you see that statistic come up on screen there. SKADE converted the first kill into around 10 out of 12 times. That's really impressive considering how dire their CT side has been, meaning getting an entry has proven to be really, really tough for them. And as Ships holds this angle, he sees the aggression come. It's a bit of util damage exchange between him and Xertion. JDC also chimed in, but Shane once again delivers the opening. Now's the mollies just torch the grounds below Ships. He's found a little gap between the two of them, but he's unable to convert it into a kill. Instead, he just deploys that smoke. He just gets the hell out of there, and while he's stickled down to now 30 HP, mouz just continue to hold this default with the man advantage. Granted, they don't have much aggressive util at all, and they've actually baited Duplicate into the rotation. If Ships falls there, he is in so much trouble, Josh. I cannot begin to explain to you how dire it is for SKADE if they lose this round. They go to an eco. mouz is their ticket straight to an equalizer. And if they can't deliver here, then we may end up seeing a very, very close series, not even game. And as we see Duplicate sitting to the other side of this smoke, no kill just yet as he holds in place, and he hides in place for the time being. Ships up in the tempo himself, though. JDC ready to swing into him. There's the flash, there's the kill, though. He shoots in time, he reacts in time. Put it down to a 4-on-4, but look at the rotation. It's caused a mass exodus of this A site, and now's the full execution comes down. The only man still in position is Oxygen as he cowers in pit. He swings out. It's a massive whiff on his part. The molly forcing him to deploy that smoke. Backside Rainwaker caught out. Oxygen only for one before Shui's able to trade, putting it into the 3-on-2. And for the remaining members of SKADE, they just have to save. Josh,
wow,
this is getting messy.
It really is, yeah. I think we could see a mouz win. I think we could definitely see overtime here. I mean, even though they've gone for that rotation on the A side, which definitely hasn't helped matters at all, the fact is that Oxygen and Rainwaker still had a crossfire in play there. Oxygen's whiffed on that first duel, only doing damage before finding the kill. And Rainwaker just needed to do more there too. I mean, he didn't provide that support to his teammate. He swung and just died. Yeah, that is rough. That is really, really rough. And you said about like the 12 entry kills at the start of this round. I think the vast majority of those 12 entry kills were all on the T side here for SKADE. I actually can't remember the last time they found the entry here on their defense.
It's kind of weird to say that, isn't it? Considering AWPs haven't been kind of strangers to SKADE, have they? Because we've seen a lot. And we're talking a lot of double AWP setups coming out from them. Bearing in mind that mouz, they favoured that single AWP setup and just throwing it to Torzi and just letting him do his stuff. And while he's not having the sort of standout performance we're used to seeing from him, he's still consistently getting kills, which is really all that mouz need at the moment, because SKADE have been really struggling. Once again, with a 3-man commitment to be at the start of the round, it's understandable, really, showing the theme of mouz banana control, but in this case, SKADE, they're going to have to try and defend this A-bomb site straight off the bat, as Oxygen hides in close apps. We might see a flash from Dennisor to give him a bit of an entry. Is anyone in anti-flash? Yes, they are. There's the swing. Do they punish him? And while it's messy, it does fall into a 4-on-4. We see Rainwaker and Pit deliver, though. Shane trying to follow up, though, but instead, it's the short members to try and deliver these blows. Dennisor hiding behind site. He has an angle to work with as he delivers for one. There's the trade. Chauncey left in the 1v4 though, caught out by Dennisor, and at long last the AWPers are able to deliver for this side, giving them 15, but at 15 to 12, mousesports are still hot on their heels.
Well, we see those odds once again, 1.3 to 3.28. I mean, SKADE now are on match point. I think that's really what's going for them here. And at the end of the day, considering this is their map pick, I am now quite excited to see Mirage. I was thinking to myself when they were leading by quite a margin, I thought, yeah, this will probably be a 2-0. Now, I'm not quite so sure. Nice opening kill from Torzi. Perfect stuff onto Ships, who's just not expecting him to be peeking from on top of logs. And there we go. The entry kill once again going to mouz NXT.
With Torzi delivering JDC, he's there to follow up, though. It goes into the 4-on-2, and just when we think we see SKADE have just a little bit of renewed vigor, just a little bit of confidence to push him over the line, we see mouz respond with lethal ferocity, giving us a 4-on-2. SKADE, bear in mind, with limited money, with so many players down, they have to invest this round as well. It means that they still don't have that padding. While they might just be able to scrape fan masses, especially if Oxygen and Rainwaker save, they're still back to the drawing board should mouz make it 15-14. And at that stage, money is everything. And in that department, mouz are really excelling.
I'm not too impressed here with this SKADE early B defense. I feel like there's been several rounds now where Ships has gone for that entry kill in top banana, and he's just died. He's not been able to find it. We see it again there, where he's on the corner with that AWP, trying to duel Torzi, and it just doesn't work out for him. He has been heard with taking a tick from that molly. The swing will come in, and while Shane falls, Zerjan trades it. We'll see mouz NXT take 13, and for SKADE, I mean, they do have money behind them, but Ships is going to be strapped for cash. He could have really done with saving that AWP.
You're absolutely right. And for a 15-13 scoreline, mouz. Bear in mind, after our break, I said that mouz would be better on their T side. I didn't think this much better. I thought they would be able to make it close to the extent where it was kind of like 16-9, 16-10 for SKADE. But this is significantly strong from them. And looking at SKADE's investment, the nades come out, the Eagles to support the AWP. I actually quite like the fact they're not fully investing into this. It means that they are still kind of being vigilant of the future. But for Zerjan, that opening is just insane. And with the util landing around them, he almost forced the util, but he doesn't. Ships continuing aggression means he might overstay his welcome here, especially as the bodies force him out of position. Shui there to get the opening, forces it into the 5-on-3. And more importantly, there's no weapon left for SKADE. They're down to Deagles and a handful of bits of util. They do have armor, which does favour them. But right now, duplicates are alone in this position, and rotation and help, it's really quite a way away. Over in mid, Torsey does shut down Rain and Waker. It does mean that Oxygen can retrieve the AK, but what good can an AK do on the other side of the map with his teammate about to fall on the B execution?
Yeah, Oxygen is quite literally almost as far away as he can possibly be. Duplicate has to go huge here. Multiple Deagle frags required, and it's only the one. 3 versus 1 situation here for Oxygen. He's going to get the hell out of there, save that AK into the next. I agree with you. I like the fact that they've dropped down to just the Deagles here, but Denny's Hero AWP means that he won't have any money to go into the next with. He certainly won't have an AWP available. And, well, it just feels a little bit wasted. He wasn't able to do anything with it. He died instantly. Ships, he retrieved it, and then, yeah, just got, like, overly aggressive there, staying around, being a little bit greedy there on Banana. And they just didn't really find anything.
Is that the start of tilt, really, to overstay your welcome like that? I feel like falling back after you've seen the util of 3 members and been unable to kill the first should really go without saying. And, you know, not to put them on blast again, but you look at the scoreboard and there is quite the gap between Ships and Rainwaker, who's the next fragger.
I mean, it certainly could be. We've already established the fact that this is an uncharacteristic game for him. Ships is normally more on the top end of the scoreboard, especially with his role as well. But no,
I love
he's
this
been
timeout,
really
though.
solid.
Absolutely love it. If I were mouz now, I would start getting psychological, and the second their timeout's about to end, I'd call one of my own.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a Crema strat, that is.
That's a correct. Honestly, if you want to get into someone's head, that's how you do it. You make them, while thinking of a plan, call the pause afterwards, make them think that you've anticipated it. It's a really, really cool thing to do, and it's when I do see a team do it, I'm gonna get all giddy and excited.
Well, let's see if mouz NXT do it. I don't think they will. I think that's just called time wasting, but you know.
It's the difference between you and I, Josh. Is sometimes it can be a little bit apparent, can't it? But
for me, it's just go quick, end this game.
Rush somewhere, hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Quick. We either kill them all or we die. It is what it is. For SKADE, bear in mind, this is the Swiss stage, so losing doesn't eliminate you here. Yeah, this is the 1-0 bracket, so there you really are comfortably in the Swiss stage at this point. There's no deciding here. It's just how comfortable you're going to be. And as Torsey goes to the peak in mid, hasn't seen anyone on long yet, though. Shuey peeking into short. It's Denny Saw to deliver first blood now. Torsey going to try and hold for the fullback of Denny Saw. And as those mollies are deployed, Denny, he's going to start taking damage pretty soon. But actually, the mollies whiffed massively. He survives. A man advantage for SKADE now, when with it untraded, that is gotta be a kick to the teeth for mouz. If there ever was a time for the molly to fail, that would probably be the last time they want it, as Ship's now on B. He's accompanied by Duplicate on the rotation, and means that a bit of aggression in B isn't really going to come. Why would they when they're a man up? But as Shane gets ready to join his teammates in apps, can they follow up with mouz hiding in place? They're almost praying there is aggression, despite the fact it hasn't come yet. Duplicate boosted onto Flowers. The only other time we've seen this position played, it was by mouz, and yeah, Shuey, he was just instantly spammed out of position. So SKADE, with 30 seconds left, hoping that this should embolden their defense. Here's the B fake going through. Here are the flashes. Here's the commitment. JDC to lead the charge. They've got Torsey to assist with it, but they don't clear boost. It means that we're going to see a quick kill from Duplicate. He makes noise, though, but it Ships to deliver the kill. Oxygen on the top of balcony. He's good for one. Zertian trade. Zertian is 1v1 is absolutely everything for the round here, but Oxygen wins it. And with 10 seconds left, Torsey, he just does not have time in the 1v4. He pushes up short with 5 seconds left. Oxygen swings. There's the kill. And Oxygen, as he goes 27 to 18. He is the catalyst to bring SKADE the victory on their map pick of Inferno. They go 16-14 up, and they send mouz to their first map loss since their accumulation.
Well, mouz really did give them a run for their money, but unfortunately for them, it's just not enough. 16-14 on their opponent's map pick. We're going to be going to a short break, folks, and when we return, we'll see if they can take their own map of Mirage, or whether they let this series slip away and fall 1-1. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in just a moment.
to the Pinnacle Cup. We've got a hell of a match ahead, in which we've got SKADE versus mouz. We saw SKADE take Inferno, only just 16-14 over on Inferno. Here we are on mouz's map pick of Mirage, and to get things underway, we have a very fast pistol round. There's JDC to open up with a quick kill onto Oxygen. Ships also falls to JDC there, but Denny saw a duplicate respond in kind of lethal performance of skill here as Duplicate on for his third. Torsey, while he does trade onto Denny's slaw, the kit's wielded by Duplicate. He's going to try and cancel the plant. Shuey on the close angle, he's going to try and pressure down the low Bulgarians. He hides in CT. With damage done, there's no kill yet though, and because of that, we're going to see the back off from this side. Torsey, swarming Rain Waker, but he's good for the first. He knows where the second is, and Shuey hides by triple. It is Duplicate to deliver the killing blow. SKADE, they come out the gate swinging as they take the pistol round. Of course, I'm in Caster Kramer 3. I'm joined by the wonderful M&J. Our observer being Chev, our producer being Gefilter Fish, and our admin being Perchy. Yeah, I hope everyone is all having a wonderful day, and well, let's continue with some more CS.
It's quite the team, isn't it, Kramer? It's like the dream team right there.
I think we need to normalise when we introduce ourselves, to introduce our producer, observer, and admin at the same time. So yeah, wonderful people. Yeah, they all do the same thing. Like,
yeah,
I think that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to make it a rhythm.
All right, I'm on board with that. Well, yeah. One round on the board here for SKADE, and that's a good start. When you've taken the first map, that's the way you want to start the second. Put your foot down early. They've got the firepower advantage, but to be honest, not by a huge margin. Because mouz got that bomb plant in the first, they have actually got some money behind them. We see a couple of Galils, you see those Mat 10s out, and a fast play here towards B, but the nade does a lot of early damage.
That flash is perfect, though. JDC for the first. Auction, while he does trade, he flicks up to window. No kill yet, though. And so he doubles down before JDC is able to respond. Ships comes in. 3 on 2. Shuey trying to catch out the rotation. And while Duplicate, while it's messy, he does fall. Torsey onto another. Means Denny's left in the 1 versus 2. He shuts down the first member. He peeks into Shuey. He delivers with a quick kill. With that, SKADE go 2-0 up. They force mouz to the eco. They give themselves the foundation for a very strong start as they look pretty damn hungry. Of course, the Pinnacle banner appears on your screen. Those odds looking very one-sided, actually. 4.6 to 1.1. Really, really actually favouring SKADE here. Remember, though, if you want to place a bet over at Pinnacle, head over to pinnacle.com/welcome if you want to sign up, or /odds if you want to place a bet on this current game where there'll be live odds of SKADE versus mouz. Of course, remember to only ever bet responsibly, only bet what you can afford. It's something that's there for fun, and all full terms and conditions will apply. Over in mid, there's Shuey for the first and a very clean kill. Denny saw got deleted, and he went for the second. He wasn't quite able to follow it up as Duplicate shuts down the Palace push. Xertion from the flank can get at least one, but for Ships, as he shuts down the cross, doesn't fully shut it down. Rain Waker's there to actually finish the job, leaving Xertion in the 1 versus 3. And of course, cool kids don't reload, they switch to their dead teammate's weapon, which is exactly what he does, only to meet his death as well. You know, join his teammates in death as SKADE go 3-0 up, and they move to their first full buy, and this is really where it gets interesting.
You know, it's just occurred to me, Kramer, in Counter-Strike, you only have to walk over a gun to pick it up. You don't have to bend down or anything. Imagine that. Do you like?
I have a theory on
that or something.
That's exactly my theory. I think that they just tuck their foot under it, and like doing a chip in football, they just kick it up, catch the gun, and continue fighting with it. They don't even check the ammo inside it. They don't pull the mag out. They just know by the weight of it how many bullets are in it.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That must be how it works.
Yeah, without a doubt. Shuey, a very clean entry. JDC in mid as well. Now, JDC, it looks like he seemed to have found their rhythm as he's really just getting kills. And even though we're 3 rounds in, he's already delivered and proven to be lethal to 5. As Duplicate hides under Balk, he might even consider an engagement with Xertion here in ramp. Torsey, having backed off, means Duplicate. There's a trade there. No, it's not. Xertion able to shut him down. Means it was Rain Waker delivers on jungle. Falls into the 4 on 2. Low HP on JDC and Xertion means this is winnable for SKADE, but we need to see some kills, we need to see them quickly. Timing doesn't favour the con players. Instead, Oxygen, he sees that flash go off, but that should alert him to the fact that a kill should be coming, and while we get ready for timing, Rain Waker shoulder peeking. Oxygen for the first, he knows there's a second there. Shuey to trade, Rain Waker to deliver. Torsey there to finish the job. mouz, they put themselves on the board with their first round. There were 2 players left alive, and with a bomb plant. Oh, I think that was with a bomb plant as well. We're going to see them have a bit of a cash injection.
Well, it's not a bad round there from mouz NXT at all. Now they've got some money behind them too. Torsey can pull out that big green sniper. Zertian unfortunately only down to that Galil. He was one of the heavy hitters last game, and I think he'll be a little bit tilted that they weren't able to take that last map, because he was having some big impact rounds. Good smoke there from Torzi. Might actually isolate ships a little bit here. That one's going to land right in front of him. As they're about to burst out Palace, SKADE, despite being 3-1 up, actually just don't have money behind them. So they're on a really weak buy here.
Shane ready to drop down, sees the engagement. Look at the fact he didn't get that kill there. It's definitely against the teeth. JDC for another. Ships delivers for one. Rainwaker trades. Shui gives the man advantage back to mouz. And as we get ready for the follow-up, what can they do? JDC now hiding by triple. Ready to swing into Rainwaker. He makes a bit of noise as he scopes in, but with no flash in the hands of mouz, they can't really hope for timing on the engagement. Torzi, an AWP always beats a scout, at least in body shots, so that swing from Oxygen is going to prove fruitless, and while the nade tickles Torzi, Rainwaker, with only a scout and USP on this defense, is more than likely going to meet his maker the second he tries to engage with this side, and because of that, we're going to see mouz go with their second.
Well, Rainwaker might stay alive here. I think he's actually going to try and dive in and do some damage towards the end, but no, whiffs the shot, and it'll be mouz NXT taking it with 3 players staying alive as well. So actually a really, really solid round, and it's just so unfortunate that player under Bauk wasn't able to find that kill with the MP9. You're at such a huge advantage there when you're taking a gunfight with someone dropping over from Palace for 2 reasons. Firstly, because the sun really is your best friend there. The shadows cast before you actually see them, so you get a little bit of a preemptive warning. Plus, their bullet accuracy is out the window when they're in midair, so you really do have a big advantage there in those gunfights, but unfortunately, the MP9 just doesn't inflict as much damage as that AK.
You're absolutely right, and for mouz, luckily for them, it's not everyone with an AK. We still have that Mach 10 on Zertian, who's going to look to farm some cash on these players. There are the flashes. Here's the engagement as he leads the charge, turning masterfully from every flashbang there. Instead, having hard cleared benches in a turn-to-back site where Oxygen, while it's messy, he does still get the kill. And for SKADE, as they now rotate back to top mid, they're going to have to hide and await their further engagement with Shui. Just picking the angle for now. Over the top of the smoke, there's Zertian for one. Shui is going to be trying to finish the job, and while he does so, mouz, they equalise now at 3-3. And for SKADE, this is where they hit a full buy of their own. We really see either side test their mettle and test their side to some limits over on Mirage.
Well, 3-3, all tied up. To be fair, a similar start to what we saw over on Inferno. SKADE taking those early rounds, mouz NXT giving us a little stint of 3, and then it started to go south for them. Here on Mirage, though, you'd expect them to have more control. It's their map pick. They get to start on the T side as well. We'll wait and see. Great opener from Torzi, gives them that man advantage. They are against a full investment here from SKADE. They don't seem too phased by it.
Ships just peeking off the corner of this. Can't quite follow up, though, instead. I see these smokes get ready to be deployed. As they do so, Torzi hiding top mid as ships swing into them. There's the first kill. Zertian's taken down. Duplicate able to deliver. Forces it into a 4-on-3 now. These flashes go off, and while it gives a bit of room for mouz to work with, SKADE still left in a really uncomfortable position, actually, considering how they should be a man up. The reality is they still have to roll the dice with what site's about to be hit, regardless of the mid smokes, and they roll wrong. They stack this A site, and for mouz, it means they are able to take a 3-on-1 for Oxygen, who is just sat back site now. As these smokes go down, though, it should alert him to the fact he's under pressure. Here's the rotation, though, and as he hides back site, he plays for time. He knows full well that he'll be accompanied soon, but the molly forces him out of position. He's good for one. He damages one, but Shane finishes the job. Duplicate out from door, tries to deliver as well, but as both members just tuck in and hide. Well, it can't be planted yet, though. Not that it matters. Shane for one. Shane for two. It's all onto ships, though, with a 1v3. A player who had a very, very shaky Inferno is now having to head up short and hope that he can find his old form to deliver in the 1v3. Instead, he doesn't want to risk it. He picks up the AWP, he backs off, and he delivers mouz Sports their lead as they go 4-3 up.
Well, it feels like it's kind of the first time that mouz have been in the lead so far this series. It feels like they've always been trailing, always been trying to play catch-up. They've come incredibly close to it, but this is the first time they actually pull ahead. Ships will hold on to this AWP. And they're not going to go hunting for him. They want to keep that money thriving, which it is. 2 players actually hitting 5 figures right now.
It's a tough spot, isn't it, for mouz here? And as the Pinnacle banner appears on your screen, remember, when you bet 10 euros, you gain 10 euros. This has to be on Esports, though. Remember to sign up using code CUP21 over at pinnacle.com/welcome. The full terms and conditions do apply. Remember, only bet when you're having fun. When the fun stops, you should stop, and only really bet with what you can afford. As this play from Shane here, this was nuts. That 2k just wins them around like that.
Well, back down to the pistols here for SKADE. Ships. Nice bit of movement. Gets him into short early. Unfortunately, it's not going to merit him a kill. No one is playing into mid at the moment. Good flashbang, but it doesn't really do a lot for them. Just applies a little bit of pressure. Shows their presence. And a minute 25 left to tick. mouz. I think they're going to group up and lean towards B here.
As they do so. SKADE having not really read it yet, as mid control comes out, ships may be called to action with it. As he holds this angle. Will we see the engagement of Xerxes now? This kill will really decide the pace of the round for SKADE here. And for ships, the opening means that they may have a bit of confidence, so they might be emboldened to continue fighting for mid. Duplicate, he's going to have to respond as Steadysaw shuts down Shane. The pivot of this A-take is suddenly lost here, but Torzi, good for 2, forces it back to the 3-on-3 as he peeks into Palace. Whoa, that's a flick there. Deadlysaw's taken down now. Torzi really delivering. He's on for a 4k now as Oxygen peeks out CT. And for Torzi, missed shot, uncharacteristic considering he just railed the player in Palace there. And as Rainwaker from the flank shuts down JDC, puts a bit of pressure onto mouz, at least momentarily, before Shui trades, leaving Rainwaker in the 1 versus 2. Heading into jungle means that he might have the timing onto Torzi here. But the Hungarian, he's read it perfectly. He jumps in to Sandwich. He backs off to a ramp, but as he holds for the aggression, Rainwaker, he might be able to retrieve an AK if he's lucky, but I doubt he's even going to commit to that as we see mouz go 5-3 up. Remember, for mouz, Mirage is their playground, similarly to how Inferno was SKADE's playground, and if that first game was anything to go by, I reckon we're going to see another 30-rounder.
Well, Rainwaker has managed to hold on to this AWP again, so we will have one in the next, and remember, this was only a bit of a half buy, so they'll have a decent investment around it too, but 5-3, the first time that mouz have really been able to pull away with any kind of lead here. And as we take a look at these odds, SKADE 1.4 to 2.8. Now, I do think these are the series odds, however, they're still favouring the Bulgarian side, and if you do want to check out these odds, then pinnacle.com/odds is the place to do so. You can place your bets there too. Remember though, folks, never gamble what you can't afford. It's all a bit of fun.
You know, this Torzi guy, he's nuts.
He is nuts. He is really good. Really, really good. And we've kind of been talking about him for a long time now. Like, even in Budapest 5 days, we've been saying, like, this guy's awesome. And I've always wondered when he was going to kind of breach out of that Hungarian scene, but he has.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a better time to do so. He's showing the form of his life at the moment, and as SKADE now already a man down, and having to kind of play catch up here with Oxygen peeking in from CT. He knows there's one player in Sandwich, it may hold for that peak, and as he sees Xerxes, while it's messy, both members do take a bit of damage. He deploys that smoke preemptively, expecting to be mollied out of position, and for Torzi, does he hold the jump off? Instead, Xerxes in the smoke is going to look to be flashed into the engagement of Rainwaker. And Deadlysaw's also hiding in point. Here's that engagement. There's the flash. Here's the swing. Xerxes for the first, and with JDC onto the second. Oxygen, by some miracle, he can cross there, but the second he peeks into Torzi, he's able to get a kill. 1 versus 3 for him now. He sees the second member, but it's a third in the form of JDC to deliver. And yeah, we have a little background on every single mouz player, don't we? JDC, he's only really been in the local German scene. The fact this is his breakout is insane considering how well he's playing. This isn't just in this map. He's been he's been outperforming Shane and Shuey, which is weird to say they're some of the more experienced players on this team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get with an academy team, isn't it? You're sitting there saying to yourself, wow, really like 18, 19-year-olds, the most experienced players on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, JDC formerly playing over with Unicorns of Love, and as you say, just kind of these regional German sides that we're not too familiar with. But he's been dominating it. That's how he's found himself, his position on this mouz NXT roster. Well, it looks like he's here to stay because he's performing very well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And while we get ready for a follow-up, let's see what can be done by the SKADE side, who, now that mouz have pulled out weapons, SKADE have looked the slightest bit shaky, to be honest, Josh. And I would hope that sometime soon, maybe not this round as they are down to kind of pistols and armor, but next round, I really want to see them just win it. Just keep it close and prevent mouz, because bear in mind, if that, I believe it was 10-5 at the end of the half on Inferno, that was about as comfortable as it gets. I think SKADE just need 5 rounds because both sides actually favoured their T side over on that Inferno map. Let's see what happens from here, though. Oh, and Shuey, terrific discipline being paid for him. And like that, then it's sort of clean kill. Yeah, Rainwaker. He's leg down to CT, though, so mouz should still get the round, but SKADE retrieving an AK, holding onto an AWP, but it's a fairly profitable round for them.
Yeah, it's actually a really good one. They take a little bit away from it. They hold on to that AWP. Once again, bearing in mind there's not a huge amount to start off with. They're taking away these silver linings. They're coming away from it saying, yeah, do you know what? It wasn't too bad. The issue is they need to start putting rounds on the board.
Yeah.
This is now going to be 7-3. mouz are already solidifying a good half. Now they just need to take it that step further.
At 7-3, what do you see how do you see this half ending? Out of interest.
How do I see this half ending?
Yeah, you think it's going to be a bit of one-sided, or do you see SKADE mounting a bit of a comeback in these kind of latter stages?
I think SKADE mount a bit of a comeback, but that's, to be honest, that's not based on what we've seen here. That's just a bit of a guess from me, if I'm honest. I think we could very easily
appreciate the
see
honesty,
mouz
Josh.
just run
I
away with
appreciate
this.
the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no analysis there at all. It's literally just, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, with Oxygen opening up, JDC taking down, gives an opening. As it falls into this 5-on-4, let's see what can be done by these members as they prepare their engagement. Shuey just crossing in mid for now as they congregate together. Waiting for the engagement from this side as these flashes go off, and for mouz, it falls into this flip to be. Xerxian instantly there with the entry. There's the drop down of Oxygen, but Xerxian doubles down there. It falls into the 4-on-3. Torzy holding the cross and window as well. Makes it even harder for this side. Oh, that's quick. Duplicate shut down, and now Torzy, he's almost inviting the AWP duel as Denisa holds the other side of this angling connector. He sees the barrel of the gun to for Torzy. Little does he know he's actually a marked man here. And while he is very much alone as he peeks into connector, once a short player should see the cross of Denislaw, that should alert Torzy into what's coming. As Xerxian crosses to stairs. Will timing favour him? Denislaw for the first. Torzy not quite trading from Con. Instead, Denislaw jumps up, tries to peek into him as he continues to follow up. Torzy still not seeing him as Denislaw now peeks into him. Oh, the timing is just so crushing. As Denislaw runs into Palace, Torzy shuts him down. The bomb goes off in the meantime, and while Ships does shut down Torzy, he keeps one of the AWPs, but for Denislaw, that has to be a tilter.
It really does, yeah. That is rough. That is very rough. They are still going to have money to buy into this next, but this is really starting to slip away. And with it, the odds are starting to close. Again, the series odds are starting to close up, which really does indicate that they're expecting mouz to take Mirage and then have a good shot on Dust 2 as well. Minute 45 on this clock. Early presence towards this A-bomb site. But it's Ships getting super aggressive here in the apartments. I like the initiative, but the flashes are perfect. Doesn't get blinded by that one, though. And that's how JDC falls. But an instant refrag from Torzi elsewhere.
It's more than a refrag, Josh. It's a site execution, and no one's there to stop him. Denny Slaw from Connector can deliver onto Shane, but he needs to really up his tempo now. And while he's flashed off once again, he's swarmed. It's a nice adjustment as he and Ships can deliver. Shuey, good for yet another. Denny Slaw peeking atop stairs. Hasn't quite been seen in the process, though. Little do they know, Shuey continuing to hold his position in the 1 versus 3 now. All it takes is a well-timed swing from Ships and Oxygen to end this here. As that swing, it comes through, they're seen, there's the kill. For SKADE, they make it 4. So, at least they've hit the minimum threshold for rounds and a half. The question now is, can they cover the distance? Can they reduce the separation between them and mouz within these final 3 rounds of this first half?
And we see the double AWP setup once again here for SKADE. Realistically, they just need to repeat what they did in the last. Shuey has 8 headshots out of 9 total kills, so he's rocking quite the headshot percentage. He's now on 10. I'm not sure if that 10th was a headshot as well, but we're looking at like 80-90% here. That's pretty big. Ships super aggressive once again. Remember, he went for that aggressive pick in the apartments last round. Now, Solo pushing up top mid.
He holds this angle. And they shut him down. No, it's Shuey to get the kill. Timing, once again, cursing this side of SKADE. As that bomb plant is faked, we see Oxygen peek out, but the double molly commitment there. It shows such mastery of the map by mouz there to have such an effective read on the position. Xerxon eventually falls to the molly. Bear in mind, he was already low on HP. And as the execution comes back out, it's Shane to trade on his teammate's quelling. So for a 3-on, now 2-on-2, with JDC shutting down Duplicate to avenge Shane. Yeah, Rainwaker coming up short now. Juggling with the AWP there. Can Torzi hold position then? As they peek out, Denny sort spammed down a little bit in the process. Means that as proceedings continue, that AWP seen. Denny saw for another. Down to the 1v1. JDC for the first, peeks into the second, gets the kill, and wins it for mouz. They now win the 1v2. They hit 9 rounds on their T side of Mirage, and they're really starting to do a number onto SKADE here as the Bulgarians, they've only got enough for 1 round of investments here. If they lose this, then we should be seeing an 11-4 half.
We certainly could be. A beautiful performance there from JDC. Keeping his team in the lead. Still a decent investment here for SKADE. They've got that max loss bonus. I say that, I might have said that a bit too soon. I'm looking at those rifles and thinking that's not too bad, but I'm looking at the utility, the lack of helmets, the lack of any kits. Maybe it's a bit problematic. Big whiff there from Ships, but he does find the kill. Is traded instantly though, back into a 4-on-4.
With this 4-on-4, Torzi scopes in on window, tries to follow up. Denny Slaw gets ready to peek into them. He's expected though, Wood, as Torzi shuts him down. It's once again the man advantage for mouz. They turn their sights, they set their gaze upon this A site, and as they get ready to cascade onto this SKADE position, let's see if they can. Well, let's see if they can stop them with Rainwaker and Duplicate. Only a single flash and nade to assist them in this endeavour. And the whole might of mouz bearing down on them. Shane ready to lead this charge. He'll have Torzi and Shuey hot on his heels to support him. And for Duplicate on the head glitch in CT, he has to deliver. Timing, it favours him as he sees the members cross. He knows he's being held though, when as he plays for info, that nade goes off. Rainwaker delivers for a kill of his own though. As Shane trades, it falls into the 3-on-2. Man advantage for mouz though, but the bomb isn't down yet. With 25 seconds left, JDC, a very clean kill onto Oxygen, leaving Duplicate in the 1 versus 3. And with the bomb down, and with the M4 trying to get out of CT, he may jump the top ticket to give him something to work with, but as he sees the first member, Shuey, he is now ready to shut him down, does just that. mouz, they make it 10, and more importantly for SKADE, with no money, this is where things get really dicey for them. Yeah,
10-4. Double digits here for mouz, and they could definitely take 11. And they've really started to run away with this. I'm actually quite impressed with them. You can see SKADE that level of focus that we saw earlier definitely starting to go as they sort of rub their heads saying, what is going wrong here and how the hell do we fix it? FAMASs are all that we see on the horizon here for the 15th and final of the half. Insertion, well, that's a way to open things up.
At 5-on-3, SKADE, it's looking pretty dire now, isn't it, Josh? And if SKADE lose this, I played this map actually in such a one-sided fashion. I think they actually lose the series. And as we see the aggression from Dennis Law, it's caught out by Shuey into the 4-on-2, and unless there's something huge being delivered by either Duplicate or Auction, both of which kind of restrained by the fact they're just on a FAMAS, it's not a pretty sight for them. These smokes go down on short, and as they get deployed, the flash over the top of Con keeps Oxygen back down, and as he hides by Connector through the smoke, Torzy takes a bit of damage, but you need more than damage if you want some equity in this round here. And Zershan in ladder room sees the rotation. He knows that they're both going to be coming into kitchen as Oxygen falls. For Shane, it's a very clean up. And at 11-4, Josh, I worry that SKADE may not be able to recover from this. Of course, as the Pinnacle banner appears on your screen, remember, if you bet €10, you then gain €10. If you bet on esports, it has to be on esports. When you sign up using code CUP21, go to pinnacle.com/welcome to find out more. And remember, terms and conditions to apply. Only ever bet with what you can afford, and only ever bet if you're having fun.
Well, you know, I never would have said, even though we were kind of aware that they were sort of the star players, I never would have said that Shuey and Shane's teammates at Isacco Balls were holding them back. But we would have never seen that Isacco Balls roster beating teams like SKADE, like Entropic. And right here, they seem as comfortable as ever.
You're absolutely right. Granted, there's an opening from SKADE here, and as Zershan knows he's about to be pressured, it's Oxygen to double down. Oxygen caught out by Torzy on short, though, who delivers for 2 more. And as it falls into the 3-on-3, that bomb's still not down yet. It means as Rainwaker considers planting. We'll see the swing from Shuey. Quick kill for him there. Ships tries to defend him, but he's only able to trade. We now have Torzy going on for the flank. He realizes that timing is able to assist him with this now. 2-on-2. Ships shifting into kitchen. Shane on the flank. Damage done. There's the kill. 1 versus 2 for Torzy. And as he tries to commence his flank, Dennis, almost expecting him from this angle, is able to deliver with the kill. For SKADE, they make it 5 at long last. But is it too little, too late? If they can't win the force buy here, if they can't start converting rounds, then it very well may be. A technical pause comes through, though, Josh. And unfortunately, you know how much we hate those.
Yeah, breaks up the pace a little bit. Really not something that you want to be seeing. Nice little recovered round there for SKADE. Maybe an opportunity for a comeback. I wonder what the issue is, though. Everybody's still in the server. Nobody seems to be jumping up and running across their room for now.
That always is the most exciting part, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's why I like these cams.
Yep. You see someone run off because they've knocked something over or desperately had to fix something. But no, you're right. It looks relatively calm from either side. Then 11-5. Josh, do you see a side winning here?
I think it would be foolish to say SKADE, to be honest, based on what we've seen from mouz so far here on Mirage. I do think that mouz will take it.
What about
the series? I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
I mean, Dust 2 being our decider, SKADE have shown that they like Dust 2 quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, in my mind, it doesn't even depend on who favors the map. I think it actually depends on how Mirage ends. So if we see SKADE pull a comeback and then mouz narrowly take it, then I think that kind of turns the tides a little bit for Dust 2. If mouz just bite back right now, either in this follow-up or in their buy round, and they close out this game or they close out this map in a super convincing fashion, then I'll definitely be favoring them on Dust 2.
All right. And another question, which someone else actually mentioned in the chat, which I think is a really cool point, is right now, SKADE rank 36 in the world. mouz are doing better against SKADE than most top 30 teams have done. And bear in mind, we've only seen 3 series from mouz. Having seen this team develop, who do you think is... How do you think they're going to be placed? And do you think they're going to be able to break into the top 30? If so, in how many weeks do you think that'll happen?
It literally all depends on how they place here in Pinnacle. Because I don't think they've got much else going on at the moment in terms of tournaments that they're currently participating in. But yeah, if they get a high placing here in Pinnacle, they beat some of the bigger teams as well, then yeah, they will just naturally get a high ranking. That's how HLTV works. That's how the HLTV rankings are determined.
They haven't played against a team that is a lower rank than them, or a lower rank than them yet.
Yeah, like, so I think at the end of the
underdogs did absolutely everything.
Yeah, I think at the end of the month, if they make Pinnacle playoffs and they do well, they beat a couple of the good teams or whatever, then yeah, I think 100% they'll be getting a good ranking, maybe in the top 50, 60 kind of range. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see on that one. Based on who they've beaten so far, I mean, Entropic, where are Entropic ranked in the world at the moment? They're 14. Super high as well. 14, I was thinking, yeah, that kind of range. So yeah, if they keep beating sides like that, if they can take a win against SKADE,
16.
then...
Do apologise.
Okay.
Still,
then definitely.
Point applies. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I actually see mouz getting top 30. If they continue this form, I see them getting top 30 in about 2 months.
Ooh, that's ambitious. All right.
They're doing so well at the moment. And this isn't even them kind of having a few fluke maps. Like, these are series that they've been winning. And even now, we see them play against SKADE. Most teams, when they play against SKADE, just shatter. Like, the SKADE play style has such a strong way of dismantling teams that haven't specifically practiced for it. And because of that, we now see another engagement come through. Let's see what can be done for the mouz defense with a 4-man stack. If we don't see a recovery anytime soon, they're actually going to be in a lot of trouble. So you're ready to come out connector. Xertion hiding in firebox, accompanied by Shane, Shui, and Torzy, split between Sandwich, The Bounce, and CT. There's the first kill. Shane falls, follow up from Shui. He's actually just a hide. Torzy on CT delivers though. As they try to spam him down, Oxygen able to get that kill. He's up for Shui. As Oxygen delivers death from above. It's all on Xertion hiding in firebox. He sees. Good. He's good for the first. Good for the second though. Can't retrieve the weapon, so he's still on the deagle. But as he tags down, then he switches to that AK. He knows they're swinging on him. Timing really not assisting him. And for Xertion, I saw the stars aligning there.
Yeah, me too. If he'd held that angle onto Denny for another half a second, he probably would have had that round. But having to take damage from CT, swinging around default to take the fight on stairs, didn't do him any favors at all. A couple of really nice kills there, though. And at the end of the day, it's damage.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And for mouz, as they move to their eco now, I think it is a matter of just getting the round over and done with. That Mac 10 comes out onto Oxygen. They prepare for a straight hit onto B. They make noise as they go for short control, though, over on mouz. So there's no kind of stranger as to what's happening here. They dive out. They go for the eco kills. Shane's for the first, and, well, I mean, it's a equal 4-on-4. That is up until the AK start having the bit of heavier hits come in. Xertion with a deagle, a bit more of an invested buy. Tags down ships, but he can't finish the job. SKADE with 7 now. 4 rounds separate them from their opponents, but this buy is going to try and deliver. As mouz are able to move into the next investment. Let's see how this changes the Pinnacle odds. And actually, 2.1 to 1.6, that sounds about right. Bear in mind, these are series odds, not map odds. So, the fact SKADE are a map up makes complete sense there. I suspect they're going to get closer, though, especially if mouz win this round.
Well, AWP on Torzy here. This is the first time that we're seeing a big buyout from them here on the CT side. Aggression from JDC. That is seriously audacious. Pushing right into the apartments. No one watching Palace. Rainwaker's able to get out and find one. But they trade evenly. Back into a 3-on-3. And Shui now has control of the bomb. He's got control of ramp. He's got the AK at his feet. They are bombarding him with mollies, but dancing around this smoke, there's a perfect gap in it for him to work with. He just has to sit in and glaive it, buying time for his teammates to rotate over. It all comes down to whether he's spotted here by Duplicate. Are they running into each other? No, but Duplicate finds the headshot regardless, and we continue to trade even.
Xerxon on default. That's amazing spam by Oxygen there. It's caught out, leaving JDC in the 1 versus 2, already on just 5 HP. He jumps up into window, hoping it gives him something to work with. He realizes that with those unbroken vents, he just has to fight and hope that his AK proves to be lethal. But with either split opponents, with Duplicate not quite peeking into him yet, it means that the rotation of Oxygen can't be anticipated, meaning for SKADE, this should be 8 unless something goes horrifically wrong. But with a bomb planted on default, Oxygen has to try and cancel the push. But JDC there for the first. The molly for Firebox forces Duplicate out as well. He swings out, but he gets the kill. Once again, a round that is just so close. And for mouz, that is now just 3 rounds separating them from SKADE as the Bulgarians continue to look pretty scary. Remember, though, bet €10 on Esports, you then get €10. We'll keep shouting it till the sun goes down as it's code Cup21 when you sign up at Pinnacle at pinnacle.com or pinnacle/welcome. Give them the love they deserve, and of course the terms and conditions to apply. Remember to only ever do what you can afford and only ever do it when you're having fun. Oxygen jumps it up with a quick kill though, giving them an advantage to the members of SKADE, and as you see the swing from short, Oxygen doubling down, continuing to ease SKADE a bit of momentum as they just try to get this round out the way and move to the more interesting gun rounds next.
This is looking like a mirror performance of what we saw on Inferno, but the other way around. Yeah. Of course, SKADE were able to take a really convincing first half. They were looking great. We thought it was going to be a one-sided game. And then that wasn't the case at all. mouz NXT brought it right back. We ended up going down to the full 30. And that's the same as what we're seeing right now. 11-9 now. Only a 2-round gap in it. mouz NXT. This will be their last buy-up before, well, we see this scoreline potentially tie up. And a quick replay. What are we getting a replay of here? Ah, there we go. It's the early kills in mid.
Yeah, really, really strong start from Oxygen. Very much Oxygen, considering how he literally carried SKADE on Inferno, he's having a relatively quiet one here. And it kind of shows that everyone on SKADE is able to perform. Good for one, Shane instantly there to trade. 4 on 4, and with no extra damage done to Shane, it started out as a 4 on 4. There was very fast play, just didn't work. Moving on from there, SKADE with a split between mid and B. Looks like where the engagement will come from. Boosting Ships up into window, and this is Ships' prime position. It's when he's able to flank, when he's able to lurk, and in this case, mouz need to be very careful because Ships, like a Viper, is ready to strike. Torsi peeks in. There's the kill. There's the advantage. And now things get scary. JDC, his secondary orbit, only legs down the first member. Xerxon, hiding from his position now, has to try and commit to this flank. The molly, while it doesn't hit him, means he'll be able to cancel the plant. Oxygen taps in those numbers. There's the first member. While it's messy, there's a kill. There's the second. Rainwaker, 1 versus 2. Already on a flank as he peeks into Shane. Gets the kill, but on 11 HP now. Xerxon seems to be in prime position as Rainwaker jumps up to short. He makes noise as he does so. As he gets ready to go through the smoke, Xerxon ready for him the whole time. There's the kill. There's the round for mouz, their first round on their CT side as they make it 12-9.
It comes incredibly close, and you do wonder maybe Ships' flank could have done more if Torsi hadn't have rotated around with that AWP. Or if Ships had got in a few seconds earlier, we could have seen a multi-kill from it. But unfortunately for him, it was only the one. And the whiffed molly there over towards Van. It wasn't necessarily whiffed, but it didn't spread far enough to actually cover Xerxon. Means that he's able to pounce, deny the plant, take one more, and then finish things off in the 1 versus 1. mouz NXT, despite winning the last round, don't actually have a huge amount of money behind them. They only kept Xerxon alive with that M4. So we see 1 more M4 brought up on Shane, and then 2 MP9s and a FAMAS for them to work with. So really not the best of investments, and they're trying to make up for it by getting aggressive here towards ramp.
Torsi kind of sitting back on default. He's almost scared of following up because he knows full well that the second he does so, it leaves a very undefended Shui as he peeks with only an MP9. He does deploy that smoke, though, just to try and keep him back for now, when as he tries to fake the presence of another member. He's dumped all his util with a minute left on the clock. Oxygen through the smoke just rails Shui there. Man advantage, completely uncontested now. When with the follow-up molly from Torsi, here's the thing, that also reveals to the members of SKADE that there's fear in their eyes as they get ready for an execution. mouz with very limited util, and with a limited weaponry on Torsi, he has to deliver. Timing, while it does favour him, he shuts down. Oh, he doesn't shut down Oxygen. He's able to recover. Ships on the flag shows himself. That means the rotation can't come through. With 30 seconds left, SKADE is going to get this plant on a completely uncontested site. And as they prepare themselves to hit double digits, mouz, they need to head straight back to the drawing board because this is starting to look very, very scary.
Ships holding for the push, finds it. Really clean kill that. That's on to Zerjan, of course. And, well, for JDC and Shane, it's all about saving. It's about holding on to these weapons. They know that they don't have a huge amount of money behind them. That secondary M4, unfortunately, unretrievable for them. If they can stay alive, that would be the best prize. SKADE, not actually going hunting, and I like this too. They haven't got a huge amount of money behind them, so they really can't afford to press too far forward. There we go, 12-10. Scoreline stays nice and close.
As they do so, let's see what will be done on the mouz reinvestment, really. Do they go for a reinvestment? Shane can drop, JDC can drop a FAMAS. I mean, they have something that can be wielded in the next round, but what it can be done here, we'll have to see as we get ready for the reinvestment, and it looks like they are actually not even opting for a reinvestment at all. It's a complete eco around these members, and for the M4, what can it do over on A? And there's Denisaur laying down Torsi as he crosses, putting it straight into a tough position of this side, and JDC and under. There's the kill. Ship's taken down. Means that something can be retrieved, but it's on the player who already had a rifle, and underpass isn't a very accessible position, but for Shane, another kill. Awesome, but they can't retrieve the weapons. It's so far away. We see Oxygen continuing to shift down mid, but JDC ready to trade. There's a flash into connector, and as the swing comes out anyway, fully blinded, Shui gets the kill. 4-on-2 now, and while it's collapsed for SKADE, looks like the rifles might not even be needed. Rainwaker swings into JDC, who meets his death. And for JDC, proving to be an absolute tyrant in underpass now, leaving Denisaur in a 1v4. No one is going to peek him in mid, and with the player in connector, Shui, he's holding it to kind of retrieve the AK rather than to get the kill. And because of that, with 45 seconds left, Denisaur, 45 seconds is a hell of a long time to try and save, and luckily for him, mouz aren't really committing to a hunt, at least just yet.
Denny, 1v4. He's got the bomb on his back, but there's no way he's going for this. And as you say, they're not really hunting for him either. They are feeling around, but at this point, they should know that he's got to be in like either T-Apps or T-Spawn. And they don't want to extend too far. They know they haven't got a huge amount of money behind them. And this round means a lot to them. So they certainly don't really want to be taking any big risks.
We'll get ready for the follow-up. At 13-10, 3 rounds separate mouz from victory. That same 3 rounds separate SKADE from an equalizer. As a Pinnacle banner appears on your screen, remember, when you bet €10 on esports, you then gain €10. Sign up using code CUP21 and go over to pinnacle.com/welcome to activate it. Remember, our terms and conditions do apply, and only ever bets when you can afford it. Only ever bet when you're having fun, because if it's not fun, what's the point in doing it?
Well, as you see SKADE group up into the apartment, so they're just going to go for a fast B hit. This is a full buy round. This is the last time you really expect to see a really fast play like this, but if they commit to it, it could work out nicely for them. There are 3 defenders here ready to shut this down if it does come through. But SKADE resetting a little bit, now charging out, accompanied by the flashes, and, well, JDC might be in trouble here.
Sawsey is good for the first, JDC there for the second. JDC doubling down, though. He knows that there's more players to show when, as he hides on bench, he's got Xerxian, who's holding the cross, with more util being deployed from either side. Denisaw swings out, JDC for his third, on for the fourth before Rainwaker shuts him down, putting it into the 1v2 for Rainwaker. He fakes the drop there, a very smart play for him. He shifts back into apps. Can he use it to exploit the position of one of these members? No, he can't. Xerxian, he's not peeking from Edward. We've got Shane, who's still hiding in Kitchen. As he shifts out, there's the kill for Rainwaker. 1 versus 1 now. That smoke deployed, and as he backs off, he does have the bomb on his back. Xerxian, the close angle. He knows full well that no one is peeking into this. He knows full well that Rainwaker has turned his attention to the A site, but is the element of doubt there enough to make Xerxian stay? As Rainwaker, with 20 seconds left, gets ready to head up short, and here's the thing, he's got to make noise as he does this. Xerxian now hiding, almost daring him to go for the follow-up now. It's 10 seconds. Xerxian, if he holds position, he's done enough for Rainwaker. He just needs to clear Xerxian. He sees him though, util out, and with that, Xerxian brings mouz there 14th, but that's bloody close.
I'll be honest, with 8 seconds left, why the hell has he got a smoke in his hand? I just don't get that at all. I think there was even less than 8 seconds left. There might have been 6 or 7. That is rough. That is not the way you want to be falling in a scenario like that. And, well, there we go. We go 14-10. SKADE don't have a lot of money behind them. We will see a buy, I presume. mouz NXT calling a quick timeout, though. What this timeout does do is give us a chance to talk about our partners, of course. Trustly, one of the partners here over at the Pinnacle Cup, making this all possible. And when the speed is the name of the game, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. Choose Trustly to make your payments flow quickly from account to account. There's no cars, no app to download, no registration. It's a really, really brilliant system. And, well, you can use it to make payments at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in-play offerings for SKADE versus mouz NXT. Always remember that betting should be fun, and only bet with what you can afford. Try and keep it safe and a fun environment, and well, their full terms and conditions do apply on their website if you want to check those out. SKADE, they really need to win this round. If they don't, they are in serious trouble.
You're absolutely right. They need to deliver here, and as these smokes go down, Denisaw just rotating into mid. He was ready to speak into Con, but it's Rainwaker to hit a very clean entry. Shui and Xerxian trade, though. Denisaw keeps it even. Denisaw doubles down as Xerxian falls. It goes into the 3-on-2. Tag damage to Duplicate, and Denisaw means that the B defender, in the form of JDC, a man who's had an incredible game, is going to have to follow up. And as he peeks into these members, he realizes that with mid being clear, it can only mean one thing. One of these sites is due a pummeling, and with Duplicate, his task at hand now is to try and, well, fake the hits onto A. If he gets the kill onto Shane, then to commit to it. Shane peeking into Palace. This is where this round will be decided, and for Duplicate, it's a clean execution of Shane. It falls down to JDC in the 1 versus 3. He's got a kit, smoke, and flash, and with that, he has definitely got a bit of momentum to work with, but will he be given the opportunity? Duplicate. Top this angle. Is going to be called out. 11 for SKADE and for mouz. What can they do from here, Josh?
Oh, I think that they're still in a fairly comfortable position. I mean, that round shakes them up a little bit. But they should still be relatively confident. They don't have a huge amount of money behind them, so they will have to kind of take a step back here. I love the discipline in this round to just go for the full eco, not really invest anything. A couple of pistols come out, but no Kevlar, no utility. It'll be in the next where they have the big guns to work with once again. We could certainly see a SKADE come back. But mouz, still definitely your favourites here to take Mirage.
Absolutely right, and with mouz hiding in position, they attempt this follow-up with Oxygen in place. Accompanying ships with a swing down mid. That util is deployed, that molly follows it up. Shui is hiding behind it for now. As they do so, Torzy tries to swing in from window, trying to get some info on the ladder member. I like how he suspects Oxygen's there, and rather than confirm the suspicions by risking dying by swinging into him, he just doesn't move from his position. He holds the push anyway. And for mouz, the defense, it's reassured with Oxygen showing himself in ladder, but that may have played to their detriment now as they massively turn to mid when it's only one player they've seen. The rest of SKADE, they commit out of ramp, and they do so, bear in mind, with only 30 seconds left. Shane, though, massive whiff there as he finishes off to the molly. And for the 5-on-4, Shui sees chips, can't finish the job. Xertion certainly can, though, only before Oxygen can then trade, leaving both Torzy and JDC in mid. While it's messy, Oxygen, he finishes off Torzy. JDC eventually gets the kill, but it's only before SKADE finish the job, hitting themselves to 12 rounds. This could go either way, and with only 2 rounds separating either side, 2 rounds separating mouz from victory, it's up in the air, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see overtime here, Josh.
We certainly could. I think it really all comes down to this round right here. The big guns come out for the defense once again, and mouz NXT absolutely have to win this. If they don't, they'll have no money once again in the next. They'll be ecoing, which will allow SKADE on to 14. And that's where things really start to get complicated. For me, it's a bit of a shame that SKADE have only really started putting their foot on the gas this late. But at least it's not too late. I mean, we're still mirroring what we saw over on Inferno, aren't we? And if history repeats itself, then we'll see another 16-14. With Oxygen hitting shots like that, though, maybe not.
There's a very clean opening there. Torzy, he misses a crucial shot. Unable to get the player who crosses. I believe that's a bomb carrier as well. Means that he now has to go for the awkward angle on Duplicate, who sits atop him. There's a no scope to deliver. Can't quite hit the follow-up, though, as it falls into a 4-on-4. As he gets ready to jump atop Ticket once more. Then he saw on the flank in mid. It's suspected by Shui, though. He goes for the quick clear. Can't see anything, though. Except for Torzy. As he drops down, he swings into Sandwich. Rainwaker to full. There's the trade from Denisaur in mid. As Xertion's able to follow it up into the 3-on-2 now. When his ship starts speaking out from Palace, he's good for 1. Turns around, tries to follow up onto Xertion. A beautiful spray transfer there, leaving Torzy in the 1-versus-1. And they're out of time. Torzy, he's just got to hide as that bomb goes off. And with only 22 kills, you'd think that hit would be enough, but in this case, no, it's not. SKADE, they allow that bomb to go off. They hit 13, and now with a 14-13 differential, with no money on mouz, this has gone from bad to worse. Of course, as the Pinnacle banner appears on your screen, remember, bet €10, gain €10 when you bet on esports, signing up using code CUP21. Head over to pinnacle.com/welcome to do just that. Our full terms and conditions apply. Remember to only ever gamble responsibly.
14-13, back down to very, very little firepower. That hero AWP could do some damage on Torzy. He's certainly the man that you'd want with a weapon in a round like this. And the Deagle coming in from behind's done a lot of damage too. No kill found, but it sponges them up. Bearing in mind you've still got Deagles in play here for the CT side, it makes them deadly when their opponents are on half health. Ships with another finding him in the Mac 10 though. A lot of damage done onto Torzy. Does eventually fall, coming into a 3-on-3. But the lack of kits and util here on the CT side is going to make this retake very difficult indeed.
Especially the low HP as well. Shane, the only one with HP, is quickly killed, meaning for Xertion and Torzy, saving has to be the option once again. This back 10, it might be good for Rainwaker. No, it's not. Duplicate finishes that kill. Torzy, he gets the hell out of there. 2 kills, while it's good, it's not enough. And for SKADE, there is the equalizer. They make it 14-14, and that is where I'm just lost for words with them. You need to remember as well, SKADE, they're playing in 2 hours as well in another match against 1win, so they absolutely need to not only win this series for the momentum, but win it for the fatigue, because mouz are a team that keeps you on your toes, especially on the aim front, and when your playstyle is oriented around aim, it is so easy to burn out.
Well, yeah, the last thing they want right now is to go to a 3rd map and then have to play another series later. I mean, they are professional players. That's what they do. They should be used to it by now. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. Burnout's like a big thing. And it can just become... You can become, like, very complacent when you're playing CS for so many hours during the day. Mistakes do start to come out. And
Yeah.
Everything just kind of almost merges into one, doesn't it? It's very difficult to stay focused for that long. 14-14 though, mouz with another buy up, but they really need to win this round. They've brought down to absolutely nothing. While they will have a loss bonus to work with, it certainly won't be a great buy in the next if they can't win this one. If they can though, overtime definitely on the cards, because SKADE have got plenty of cash to fall back on.
Ships deploys that util in connector, slowly establishes control of SKADE as they get ready to follow up. mouz continue to hide as Oxygen continues to peek into these members in ladder. He hard clears these angles as they get ready to hold in position. torzsi peeking from Palace. Has to consider what to do next now with ships. Let's take an engagement with Shui. They follow up, and well, there's the opening. Shui gives them an advantage to mouz. Will it be traded by Oxygen now, who comes up short? He gets ready to follow up into Xerxian. As there's the kill, it's Shane for a second. Oxygen to trade, 4-on-3. Follow-up damage coming through, though, as torzsi delivers in Palace now. Denny saw another to trade. Oxygen continuing to do so as well, with a known location to torzsi. As this bomb goes down, we're left into the 2-on-2. Oxygen going into jungle. He knows JDC will be there. Does he have the timing? It's Denny Saw for the first. JDC to trade. Only 12 HP on Denny Saw as he gets the hell away from ramp. He goes round for the flank. He goes to mid off the back of this, and it's a bold play for him. But will it work out? He's got timing now, and the longer JDC takes, the harder this clutch becomes now. Denny Saw, he may have played this to an absolute masterful degree. JDC, he taps that bomb. He sticks that bomb. Is there time? No, there isn't. Denny Saw wins the 1v1, and SKADE go 15-14 up on what is their opponent's map pick, and their chance now to take the series.
3 kills in such an incredible round, and you can see mouz, they are not happy about it. They are tilted that they've let that one slip. If they lose this next round, they'll have lost a series 2-0, but that really doesn't do it justice. 2 16-14s really, really does play on your mind, and it's a really unfortunate one for them so far. Denny plays that perfectly, and I think he kind of knows at that point that there's a high likelihood his opponent won't have a kit, bearing in mind their economic situation, and he really plays off of that. JDC didn't have a defuse kit in that scenario. If he did, he would have had a chance to just jump straight on that bomb and get it down, but realistically knew that he needed to find the kill. There was no way he was going to be able to commit to a 10-second defuse.
Absolutely right, and that was a insane round. It's the same read by Denny Saw there. The second he got the plant, straight into despawn, straight on the rotation. For mouz, with now FAMASs, they've got to deliver on this round, and as Ships goes up short with an SG, Shui, does he see him? Neither member having spotted one another just yet, but the second Shui peeks, the second he goes up, Ships will see him, but it won't matter. There's the kill. Rainwaker, trade on Xerxian, leaves us in the 4-on-4. An HP advantage for SKADE, but it's only slight. JDC peeking into Palace, though. Rainwaker, a very clean kill, and Apps there, actually, and with a man advantage, SKADE, they fake the presence onto B as Rainwaker deploys that util. He gets ready to swing into torzsi. As he does so, there's the peeking window. Denny Saw into Shui, 4-on-2. Rainwaker, if he can shut down torzsi, then it's over for mouz, though. torzsi, though, still surviving. 25-21. A great game from him here. If he can go sicko mode, if he can hold this site, there ever was a time for him to do so, now would be it. He kicks into these members. He sees Rainwaker. There's the opening. Now only a one-man disadvantage for them as he backs off to a wider angle. He knows the rest of SKADE are coming. He hears them coming. He sees the utility being thrown. Does he catch off the next member? Yes, he does. 2-on-2 now. Picking back to Van, though. Can he follow up onto the dropping member? No, he can't. Miss shot. Can he pressure him down, though? And it's Denny Saw to get the kill. All onto Shane at 1 versus 2. The youngster from Azako Bors looking to deliver to keep his team alive. He's seen in the process, but no! Denny Saw gets the kill. SKADE go 16-14 up, and they win the series. They show mouz their first defeat since the conception of this team, and well, what a way to do so.
You can see what it means to them as well. They're really happy with that. I mean, we established it's only a Swiss stage game, and it's one of the early Swiss stage games as well, so it's not a massive deal, but they're super happy with it. And after a comeback like that too, they're going to be feeling pretty confident about their Mirage. That's the series there for you. 2-0 for SKADE. Not what I was really expecting, especially after what we saw in the early days of Mirage over from mouz NXT, but impressive stuff. And yeah, I've quite enjoyed that one. I enjoyed covering mouz NXT when they were up against Gamer Legion the other day as well. And they're definitely an exciting team. I think they probably will make it out of the Swiss stage here in the Pinnacle Cup. And then I'm excited to see what kind of run they can have in the playoffs.
Yeah, I really expect mouz to be a dark horse in this tournament, actually. I suspect they're going to do really, really well. And for SKADE, while that was a great victory, it's 2-0, something they're going to be very happy with, that shouldn't have been that close. 2 16-14s is a disgustingly close game. And the fact that it comes down to 1 or 2 missed shots would have decided the outcome of the whole series, it really is going to weigh heavy on them, the fact that they almost lost that. For mouz, head held high. They went as this as underdogs. They lost it, sure. They're not out the Swiss stage. They're only 1-1 now when, well, they still delivered. That's not all for today, though. Josh, in just a moment, we have another series for you. We have got MIBR versus Endpoint. Endpoint having been sent reading from one Brazilian team yesterday. Let's see if it will happen again today. It is a series you do not want to miss. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with that, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.